in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test. Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested. Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake. I think we found the ghost. Jake won't let you see your mention. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time, and you talk down to me and shit. What's going on?
Jesus,
you're counting my lunches. Like, you're looking at what I'm eating. You're like figuring out when I'm going out to smoke. Like, all of a sudden, you're in my shit. But all you said you wanted from me was the plates to go from here to here, and I'm getting the plates from here to here.
God, that was the most accurate representation of how I feel when I get a job. At first, I'm helpless. I'm a little baby. I'm sucking off the tea to the manager to tell me what I need to do. You know, I don't want to, my wings aren't fully formed yet. And then once I learn what I'm doing, I'm like, y'all could treat me a lot better for this. I deserve a lot more for this.
Wow, this is some bullshit right here. Now that you kicked me out of the nest and I'm flying through the sky and trying to flap my wings here, I don't think you're giving me enough.
I don't like this.
You didn't set me up right.
Polite about it.
It's just not the polite way to have sex.
That's just really one way to have sex that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say, that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise!
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground. You smash it up. You make a tea out of it. You throw it down the back of your throat. You eat some capsules, and you feel better. Your mind's clear. And most people that use kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person. You don't understand how all this works, so let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off, and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any. You can't afford them. What do? You can take kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the The use, you're not going to use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you. How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do they do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid? Ay.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you,
Well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as hell.
ultimate.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof.
You know, you probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism! And they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week, and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah. You're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett, When you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist.
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herb that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try. See. I summon the ghost into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it. This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts. So this is where the ghost lives, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see, let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel. Gross. Nothing. Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts. There's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lung, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because of drug test. Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested. Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake. I think we found the ghost. Jake won't let you see your mention. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs Hey everybody, welcome to Street Fight Radio. It's the call-in show, Sunday night time for a street fight. You can get a hold of us at 614-655-3887. Same number every single week. We take your calls from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. Let us know what's going on in your world. We love to hear from you. We've had a lot of good calls recently. We've had some obnoxious ones too. We'll continue on. I think we'll get to that at the beginning here too. This is the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. We're continuing on, fighting, creating disruption. The people will win, and we hope that they're listening to Street Fight while they're out there doing their thing, while you're fighting for a better world or advocating for the people. We appreciate all that you do, and everybody that listens to the show and supports us and has gotten us this far. 2020 is going to be awesome, and can't wait to keep it running. You can find more of what we do at patreon.com/streetfightradio, and you can come hang out with us in Columbus, Ohio. We're doing another live show in just about 2 weeks, a little under 2 weeks, Friday the 24th of January. Come see us live. It's going to be different than what was happening in December. See Jake Flores live and see District Sentinel live. We're also going to have special guests, Youngin8 and Eddie Bars doing some music. You'll hear from Eddie later on in the show. But this is it. It's been good. I think that this week has been a good show, and I'm ready to take calls and excited to do it, and looks like everybody else is, because it's quite the queue going.
We got a big queue this week?
Yeah, so far a lot of people got something to say.
Well, we might have to hang up on a few.
Yeah, we did have the person call last week. They opened up with their their bold statement of what's your basis of morality. And now I hung up on them immediately, and that was because most of the other calls that we got that weren't Street Fighters were just racist slurs and racist songs. So I will try to keep it open a little bit. We'll see what they have to say, but I don't think that someone that calls in and just yells, "What's the basis of your morality?" is looking to have a conversation. They didn't even say, like, "Hi, my name is Kevin."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they were getting at, and I kind of figured they were going to yell something stupid at some point, and it was at the end of the show when I'm tired. And I just don't want to argue with somebody at the end of the show. But then when we finished, we were both like, we should have probably fucking taken that call.
Yeah,
and argued with that guy. It would have made good radio.
For sure.
We're just not experts in that field anymore.
We're still learning.
We just aren't yell at each other type guys. You know what I mean? Or yell at people type guys anymore. But we can be. I can be that. You know?
Sure.
I've always been able to go back. I still get angry and wild at times.
Yeah. But
yeah. I mean, who knows who's in that queue at this point? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You got 9 calls, and you hope they're 9 good ones, but you also
we don't know.
Yeah,
it's a new era.
It's like roulette. We are in the post prank call era, where we get prank calls. So that's something.
That's fun.
That makes you feel bigger, right?
Yeah,
makes you feel like a bigger deal. A little bit.
They're scared. I mean, they are on the prowl. They're doing it more. They're more on the attack these days.
Yeah. Well, they're dealing with, a socialist.
Right.
Might be showing up in their election. That's scary, I guess, to some people. Not to me. I'm fine with it.
Right. But I think for them, they're like on the attack.
I'm not somebody's racist grandma. He's not going to throw me in jail, Because, by the way, he's going to throw your racist grandparents in jail if he gets elected. It's terrible.
It's going to happen. It's unfortunate, but it's just what we have to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, if I vote for anybody, it's going to be for Bernie Sanders, and it's under the understanding he's going to throw my racist parents in jail.
Yeah. They're not going to, no more video games, no more bad sweaters. They'll be in jail.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's unfortunate.
It's sad, yeah. Why don't we take a call?
You ready to call?
Why don't we fucking break the seal early this week?
Okay.
And see what's going on.
Bold maneuver.
Did you get that thing I sent you? That number I sent you?
No, I didn't.
Open up your Facebook Messenger. He might not be on yet, but, just keep it in mind.
Sure, I can do that.
Well, I'm nervous. I got a little bit of nerves about taking these calls, man.
No,
I don't know. It just bothers. I guess, that's what they're supposed to do. Is they're kind of trying to get to you, and then it gets to me,
And then it's like, but I'm not supposed to be gotten to because I'm cool.
There you go. You got to remind yourself of that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. This is
It's because I'm cooler than them. Like, I'm cooler and smarter than they are. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, that's why you don't really have to kind of acknowledge somebody that doesn't even introduce themselves.
Yeah.
It just comes up and screams a question at you.
Here's 3 things about me compared to them. Cooler, smarter, more popular, right?
Yeah.
So I think that equals better than, really. I'm better than them as a human, just as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I got to think of it. I got to go into it thinking like I'm a better person. I contribute more to the world.
Sure.
I'm a wonderful man.
Yeah. You tell yourself that in the mirror.
I do. I do.
Let's see who this is who's on the line. I think this is a safe one. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hey, it's Grimy.
What's up, Grimy? We talked to you. Can you turn the volume up a little on the calls, Jason? What's up, Grimy? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Peachy. What's going on tonight?
I've got a Christmas bonus.
Yes.
Christmas bonus story.
Yes. We like those. What'd you get?
Okay, well, this wasn't this year. This year I got like a coupon for a ham or a turkey, up to $20 good for at any grocery store, but every grocery store didn't know how to use it, so it was kind of
so
pain in the ass to go bring it in. But
yeah, you can't do that, right? You can't do a fucking coupon that's good for all the stores.
Yeah, like
yeah, I don't know. It's like a manufacturer's coupon or something like that.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I would just.
Yeah, I don't know how it worked. Everybody I talked to said when they brought it in, the grocery store had to like put in like they couldn't figure out how to make it work, and they just ended up being like, I don't know, whatever, fuck it, take the thing.
Void it out. Or...
Free turkey from Hassel. It's like just hassle the cashier with this little slip here, and boom, you get it for free.
It's like if I wrote on a piece of paper, Brian can have any turkey in the store, just send me the bill, here's my information. And he tried to go pay with it.
That would be awesome, though. Let's try that. It's a good scam. So what's the one? That's a crappy bonus, though, I got to tell you.
Yeah. I used to work in this factory, and they made, like, industrial toasters for fast food places, like the ones that can toast, like, 6 buns in, like, 5 seconds.
Okay.
And one of the other things they made were these, like, big water filtration systems. And so they brought everybody in, gave everybody handwritten Christmas cards, and each Christmas card had $20 in it. And this was including all the temps and everything, everybody. They gave them $20. And then after they did that, they made us watch this video that was like a promo for their charity installing the water filtration systems in like Africa and stuff. I'm pretty sure it was mostly Africa is where they put them in. And then you had to sign a piece of paper that said that you got your bonus, your $20, and then next to where you signed it, there was a little line asking for donations to their charity for the water filtration systems. Yeah. And next to the line, there was even a $20 just already typed in there that you could just circle and just give them their $20 back.
How many people went for that option?
A bunch did, because the place was like mostly temps, and like they all wanted to get hired on, and you have to sign the thing, and then you have to put what you donate next to your name. So they were like worried that the company was keeping track of like who was donating the $20 back to, you know, they want to get hired on.
Yeah, and so they went from, like, on their taxes having to claim, like, a bunch of bonuses they paid out to writing off a bunch of donations that they gave.
Yeah. Yeah, they hooked it up. They did well for themselves. I mean, it is weird, though, to give somebody, like, cash. I've never heard of a business giving people cash.
That is hard to track.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if I get that form, I'm keeping that cash. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck this. This is in my pocket. You know?
Yeah, I didn't give them the $20 back.
Hell no. Fuck that. Were you a temp?
Yeah, I was a temp.
Oh, I hate being a temp.
I was a temp, but I was a forklift driver, and it was for like $11 an hour.
God.
It honestly sounds like some sort of what would you do experiment.
Like, we gave these people $20 cash, and then we showed them a video about. Yes, that sounds like a setup to me. It's like, wait, you were just giving us the $20 to see what we would do with it, right? We're like lab rats right now. You're testing us on something.
Well, I failed. I kept it.
I love John Quinones, though.
I would love it. He came out.
He fucking rocks. I would love to get caught on it. What would you do? Either way, too.
They're
like walking by a crime or doing something good, you know?
Man, what's your name? And you gave your $20 today? Why did you do that? Because I think this company is the greatest company so that I can get a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah. God. Yeah. Wouldn't you do anything just to be on What Would You Do and it don't matter? You know? Like, would you rather be good? Because for me, it's like either side of it I'm fine with.
You got to sign off when you get caught being bad, though, don't you?
Yeah. I would sign off. I don't care.
You're like I let him steal the bike. I'm sorry.
We'll ask Grimy this too, right? Like, so let's say that's a good one. What would you do? You're walking and you see somebody cut the lock off of a bike that's locked up and they steal it. And first of all, and you let it go. And then John Quinones comes outside and he's like, hey, man, you let that person steal a bike. Would you sign the form to be on TV?
Yeah, I'd sign it. I'd just be like, I don't know, maybe he lost his key. He had to go cut the lock off.
Me too. I would sign the shit out of it. I'd be like, not my bike, not my problem on TV. And they would like play me and then put like a circle with a line through my face on it. And be like, this guy's a piece of shit.
Yep.
What would you sign it?
Would I sign it? Oh, for sure I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, you just got to be like, well, that was my reaction. You caught me. I really did not care about that. But even as someone that's had a bike stolen, I still was like, yeah, they'll figure it out.
Maybe it's insured. I don't fucking know, you know? That's fine with me.
I don't know. We need to.
What about guy falls off a ladder? Right? Do you remember guy falls off a ladder and then another guy does a live stream, like taking pictures of him and laughing, and then like people were coming up and be like, "Come on, man, that's not cool." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just walk right by, like you're just like eyes facing forward. You just walk right by. Grimy, do you sign the sheet?
Wait, a guy falls off a ladder. And what now?
So okay, a guy is on a ladder in the mall. Right? This is an episode me and Brett watch. Guy's on a ladder in a mall, falls off the ladder. A teen comes up with a camera and pretends to be live streaming them and saying it's like a funny fail video. And people cut in. And they're like, come on, this is not appropriate, you know? And then John Quinones is like, you're a good person for doing that. But let's say you do it, but you like decide to take a video of the teen doing the video or something like that. You know what I mean? Where like you did something clearly wrong. Do you still sign the sheet? Because I sign the sheet no matter what. I don't mind looking like a huge piece of shit on TV.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever. Like, who's gonna like say anything to me? You know? And I'd sign it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. Yeah.
Like you gotta back up your actions and stuff.
Yeah, live by the bad boy, die by the bad boy. You're a bad boy. And you know what? If you do a bad boy thing in public, you need to own up to being a bad boy and be on TV. I'm a bad boy.
Yeah, it's a learning moment.
Yeah. I'm a bad boy. Maybe
you're gonna spend the rest of your life going to public situations looking for something out of sorts so that you can get back on there and get the green check mark, get the big green check mark over your face.
Yeah, that's what you should. That's what I would do though. Because then that's another thing I do. If they did catch me doing something good and they interviewed me afterwards, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I do good stuff."
That
like
comes
this all
naturally.
The time. It's just like a thing I do. I care about people so much.
I don't really want to sign the sheet. Do I have to? I don't want to brag about it.
Yeah. I'd be like, I don't know, man. I don't want people to see me. You know, I do this out of the love. It's a nice thing I do.
Left hand don't know what the right hand does.
I had 2 guys ask me for a fucking bus pass today.
Yeah.
Like, just do you have a bus pass on you?
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, that was popular in DC. It was more common because you could buy a day pass and people would only use them for a couple stops and then the rest of the day not use them.
Yeah, I would give it to them if I had it. I didn't have one. I should have bought them a day pass, right?
Yeah, it's like $4.
Yeah, I wasn't by the place or anything. I didn't have any cash on me. You know what I mean?
I lived in Chicago for a while and I would get hit up for bus passes all the time.
That's the first time it's ever happened to
We're a
me.
growing city.
Yeah, that's the first time it's ever happened to me in Columbus.
My favorite on the street interaction with some rando I had in Chicago is I was walking and I had like a mostly empty like soda from Burger King, just like the big cup from the fountain drink, and I was about to round a corner and there was a cop car, and I was literally like in my head thinking about how I was going to throw it on that empty cop car, and this person living on the streets came up to me and he's like, "Boy, give me a sip of your goddamn soda."
I'd do that.
And I was like totally taken aback, and I'm like, "Do you just want it?" I was gonna throw it on that cop car, and he's like, "Hell yeah, I want it!" And I just get like,
That's
what
what
are
I
you
would
gonna do? You give it to him.
Yeah. If anybody ever asked me for like a bite of my sandwich, I would give them.
Yeah,
the
that's
sandwich.
true. That's
like,
true.
I totally do because I like the guts.
It
you know
is.
what I mean?
It's
I
bold.
like it. Can I have a bite of that hoagie? Yeah.
If you'll have it after I've already bit it, I'll go get another.
Yeah, I'll fucking eat it with you, man. We can eat it together like Lady and the Tramp.
Right.
Let's eat this hoagie together, my man. That's how I would bring it up. Well, Grimy, thanks for calling in. You're a great caller. Please continue to call us.
Thanks, I plan on it. And then I'm just gonna shout out my Twitter real quick before you hang up. It's at JW Grimy. That's JWGRIMEY.
All right, thanks, JW Grimy. You're great. Have a good night.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah, so now I want to set this up. I want to call John Quinones to get you to have you on to be on What Would You Do? Like that man asked you for a bite of your sandwich and you ate it with him, Lady of the Tramp style.
Yeah, and then I would be like, that's just something.
It's just like,
like,
we have to.
That's the way I live in this world.
Share.
I'm a good man.
I'm a sharer.
The thing about What Would You Do that would fuck me up the worst of all things really is like the theft or like the things that happen. Because I am a very big mind your business guy. And I would just mind my own business all day and all. I just saw a video today, right? On Twitter. Okay? And this guy is in this motherfucking deli and he's flipping out. I can't figure out why he's flipping out, but he's throwing shit, he's screaming, and there's 5 guys punching each other, and they're it's just pandemonium in this deli. And there is a guy sitting at a table looking at his phone and like eating his sandwich.
He has headphones in too.
Yeah. And I was just like, that is me. Like, that's the major flaw with me is just like, well, I mean, they'll figure it out.
Right.
Like I would the only way I would ever jump into a fight is if it looked like somebody was going to get killed in the fight.
Sure.
Like that's the only I don't give a I will let two guys fight all day and all night.
It was just a big rugby scrum.
I know.
I mean, it was just
Not
like
risky at
holding arms and like shoving each other back and forth.
One dude dude that was
hammered
tall
him
and was like had a long arm. He did get in there and punch him in the face.
He got the rabbit punches in, just like the la 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 la.
And the truth is, he deserved.
But somebody else stopped him. Somebody else stopped him too.
Yeah, well, he deserved it anyway. If you're fucking acting like that in public. You deserve to get a fucking little
rap on the head,
rap in the face. Yeah, like right here in the side of the face. Didn't break anything or anything.
No.
I mean, you are a breakup fight?
I have broken up some fights before.
You just don't want to see somebody go to jail.
I don't want it to get to be too much, right. And it's usually over something stupid. Like if I saw somebody really do something, I would not get involved. But when it's just like running mouths and stuff, or like,
I let that go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they deserve it.
I watch.
If you're sitting there and you're like, someone disrespected me, and you're willing to fight somebody over some fake ass feeling of respect from like a stranger on the street, I mean, I guess maybe it is boxing time.
I will sit and fucking watch two dudes talk shit to. I just think it's the funniest thing in the goddamn world when two guys get all mad and they're yelling at each other. It happens so much.
Violence.
Here. It's not violence. It
is get to violence.
Yelling at each other.
Right. It's violence.
And maybe sometimes they push each other. I see it every day now, pretty much on my walks. You go downtown. There is guaranteed to be two guys fucking yelling at each other, and I love it. And I stop and I watch them, and then sometimes they say, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And I'm like, "Oh, I was just checking out."
Right. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just turn my head and keep walking. I love the yelling people now. At first, it took me a minute to like get situated to it because we didn't live in a very big city very recently. But my mom was telling me, she just moved to the city, right? and she was standing at a crosswalk. And this fucking woman was yelling at every single dude in a suit that walked by her, calling him like, you know, you're a white motherfucker in a suit. I'll fuck you up, and you know, you're fucking me over and stuff. And then she looked right over at my mom, and she was like, "You're cool though." And my mom was like, "I love living in the city, man. It's great. It's like electric. You know, the streets are electric."
Yeah,
that's feelings. And I'm like, that's how I feel, man. Even when a guy just screams at me, I'm just like, all right, man, cool.
Yeah, you're bumming everybody else out. I usually like to just kick people out the door. Like, get out of here, figure it out, or like take it somewhere else.
I love it. I love it. I mean, you know what, dude? To feel comfortable enough to stand in downtown Columbus on the corner of the most busy street and just scream and scream and scream at everybody is just like, all right, that's confidence in a way. And,
sure.
You know, if that's the life you got to live, like, yell at everybody.
Sure.
You know, I'm fine with it.
No, I understand.
Let's grab this next call.
I'm not pro fighting in the middle of the delis.
I don't like fighting. I'm telling you that I wouldn't break it up. I would just like there to see it.
Right.
I don't want people fighting all the time.
Spot.
But if it's a fight like that, because look, in my life, I have seen
those too.
Different kinds of fights, right? I have seen a fight a couple fights where people really got fucked up. You know, like hospital visits after the fight.
Yeah.
But then there's this like other kind of fight where neither person's heart's really in it.
Right.
You know?
Right. No one has the will to kill.
Yeah. And I'm like, let that go. You know, fuck it. You know, they're going to figure it out and move on.
Aggressive shoving and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe a punch, but
glancing
it's like,
blows.
Yeah. Like a
bouncing
punch
off,
that like slides off.
Bouncing off the neck and shit.
Yeah. Or like a guy that goes like this. I'll do this for the screen, but it's like a guy. There used to be this like guys in Groveport that would like put their arms up like this, and they would like before the fight they would go
and like pretend do a
and,
little
like,
shadow
make the
box
noise and be like, see, I could have fucking hit you like 3 times with that.
Right. Here's my speed.
You know,
awful.
But they made the noise. I always loved the noise.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see who's on the phone. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, it's Trevor.
Trevor!
Hey.
It's Trevor Hagelbon from No Cartridge, where I am doing a mini series about accessible video games. Basically, it's called Gaming on the Clock, and it's about like the kind of game. It's not about the indie games and stuff that like Trev usually talks about. It's about the real big fucking games. Our first episode was about Mortal Kombat, which is my favorite game of all time.
It's much bigger than that.
Yeah. No, is there not Madden? Madden. You know what I was thinking?
We gotta do Madden. Yeah, we haven't really. Yeah, we have a bunch like kind of going around for like our upcoming episodes. We got a bunch of ideas, and Madden's one. I don't know if you mentioned that before. That's a great one.
Yeah, Madden is one, but I sort of feel like the people that were playing Madden have moved on to FIFA now. Doesn't FIFA seem like it's big out there?
FIFA's huge, man.
Yeah.
FIFA's huge, and like that's one of those things where. Oh, and hey, Brad, how's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm good. But I was gonna say FIFA's one of those things. I feel like this is a Street Fight thing, where like kids get their parents' credit cards and spend like $2,000 trying to like get cool uniforms for their players. You can buy like loot crates and microtransactions and stuff, and they'll just blow through a couple $1,000.
Yeah,
without their parents knowing.
Fortnite did that. That's genius. Like that's like in our day. Yeah. In our day, in mine and Brett's day, that was 900 numbers.
Well, or I mean, even like baseball cards.
900 numbers were really good though, because they would get like $60 out of you. You know what I mean?
I never used one in my life. I never had the money to use one in my life.
Me neither. I just used them.
Well, that's why I don't think Fortnite is the same.
Oh, really?
I know. I consider it more like I want this skin pack at $6. The same way it's like I want a few pack of cards. It's $6.
Yeah.
You know.
See, for us,
that's fair. It's not like hiding stuff from you. It's not like, oh yeah, you pay $1 a minute. We're going to keep you on the line for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
By saying you're on hold or whatever.
Me and Jason got in trouble. Me and Jason got in trouble when we were kids because we fucking called Freddy Krueger on a 900 number.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
Yeah,
I absolutely want to call Freddy Krueger. I like the ones where it was like they set it up like it was some sort of like puzzle you could solve or whatever, or like a secret if you called it.
Yeah.
I would have asked, like, if I didn't think I would get completely murdered. Like, my parents made it very clear that if I called one of those, it would, like, nothing would save me.
What
So
was
I chickened out.
What was it with parents back then? Like, my parents would never, ever, ever buy a pay-per-view. Like, anything. Not even a movie.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
They would, like, rent movies, right? Like, they would go out and they would rent you the movie, but fucking ordering it on TV, they were like, we are not doing that.
You know why, dude?
Why?
Would you ever watch a movie now that's going to get taken out of your bank account in a few weeks?
I do it all the time.
How?
I watch movies all the time on TV.
You pay for them when you rent them.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing. When you're renting on cable, it comes on your bill.
Yeah.
That means that like you would be freaking out because there's a movie for $6.95 or 4 movies that you rented for $6.95, and all of a sudden a $36 charge is about to come through on your account a month later when your bill comes in. Like your cable bill is going to be $42 higher or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you a little fucking story. I'll tell you and Trevor just a little fucking story. When I first moved out of my parents' house and I got my own place, it was a 2-bedroom garden apartment with my buddy.
Ooh la la.
And I ordered all the cable channels when I moved in.
Okay.
And I ordered both the WCW and the WWF pay-per-view every month.
Okay.
On there.
Okay.
That's high roller stuff, man.
I had cable for 3 months.
Yeah.
He turned it off, and then we tried to get it in my roommate's name, and they were like, no.
No. We know what kind of people are on the other end of that.
They told him he had to get a lease without my name on it.
Wow. You tarnished the whole thing.
I did.
Everybody.
Wow.
They're like they like in the records they're like once lived with BQ. That's what it says like in their cable records.
Should they allow me to order all that stuff though? You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I mean they gave you a line of credit.
I was 18.
It was their mistake.
I was 18, and the first time I signed up for cable, I was like, why did my parents get all the movie channels?
If you're paying
they're great.
$60 for a movie, shouldn't someone come to your fucking house and take the money?
That's
a lot of extra money there.
Well, for the so my cable bill there, which was each pay-per-view was $40 to $50. So that was $100 extra a month on my bill just for the fucking pay-per-views. And
That's
then
unbelievable.
Cable with all of the channels.
That's WWE stuff. That like added up, dude.
And that's inflation too. I mean, that was a couple $100 that
they were $35 to $50 back then.
Yeah.
And it was both. There were 2 companies that ran every month.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like $100 probably from wrestling, just from wrestling for the month. And then you're looking at cable with all the channels, which I think at the time was costing me $160 a month. So it was $260 a month for my cable. And I remember the first time
Premium too?
Yeah, that was all the premiums.
That's why you had to get a job at the cable company. You're like, this shit's too damn expensive.
I had a huge cable habit.
Yeah, huge cable habit.
Well, it was premium. Yes, I needed all the premium channels because when I was growing up, it fucking drove me crazy to see that something good was on Showtime and I had HBO. And I was like, why not just have them all?
Yeah.
You know?
So you can watch all the good stuff. That makes sense.
I mean, if you...
I think the other... Oh, God.
I didn't go out very much, and I didn't really have any money. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't afford $260 a month for cable even, but it was just like, I mean, fuck, they'll hook it up. I guess we'll just get it, you know?
It's safer than leaving the house and doing stuff and, you know.
You never know what you're spending when you leave the house.
That's true. You get fucked up sometimes.
Well, and I think like when our parents were still like when pay-per-view was coming out and all, like, or when it was in its heyday, that was like the time when you could also get those like 11 CDs for a penny deal from Sam Goody or whatever.
Columbia House.
Like, I feel like like that was like the era where you could just get completely screwed on like mail order scams. All of a sudden, like you say you want one thing and then you're paying, $700 for CDs for like the rest of your life.
Are we?
I feel like every parent was just terrified of that.
Are we better off with the internet?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. From
Yeah.
a media standpoint, absolutely.
I mean,
think so.
money wise, like what we're spending with the internet compared to the mail order stuff. Because Trevor's right. Like, they would fucking lock you in. Actually, I got a funny story about Columbia House, too. One of my best friends was like 15, and he did Columbia House, and he fucking got all the free CDs, right? And they start coming at him for the money. You remember, it was Nick. They start coming after him. They start coming after him for the money, and somebody told him if you wrote disaffirm on the paper, then they wouldn't charge you. And it shit worked. If you're a minor, you can disaffirm the bill. I don't know what it means, but he was a minor, so they had to fucking back off. It
they
fucking
couldn't do
worked.
anything.
Yeah, it fucking worked.
Kept the CDs and they just like.
Yeah, because they gave. I guess they gave a child. They were stupid enough to open an account for a child. That's their fault.
Yeah, I just remember sitting on the front, sitting out with our friends and being like, "What else can we disaffirm?" Like, as soon as we found out about it,
Turns out not a lot. That's why they check your ID in so many places.
You should be able to disaffirm college now.
You know what? We could try it.
You got to agree to when you're under 18, though.
True.
Well, I have a buddy who went to college at 15. Maybe he can get I should ask him if he can disaffirm that.
Give it a shot. Doogie Howser was your buddy?
I feel so bad. Like, basically, he's real life Doogie Howser because he went to college at 15. He was like, "It was a horrible decision. I really didn't like it at all."
Yeah, I can't imagine, like, I mean, first of all, you're sitting in the class with a bunch of 18-year-olds, and the thing I've learned from my daughter is that, like, 15-year-olds think that anybody over 18 is just inherently boring, you know?
Yeah.
But
and also you have to live there. Like, that's like, I don't know, man. That sounds horrible to me. Like, it's not like, because like when you're 15, you're thinking like, oh, cool. Like, I mean, you're thinking everyone's boring, but then you're also thinking like, cool, I can get invited to all the parties and like drink beer or whatever. And I'm pretty sure like it actually was just like really awkward. Like, no one wants to hang out with a 15-year-old.
That's true.
When they're 18.
And if they do want to hang out with you when you're 15, they're fucking losers.
You don't want to hang out with them.
Yeah, the guy that got me high when I was fucking 11 was probably a fucking humongous loser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
you don't want to be that.
So I want.
No, I wanted to go in and let people know if they don't. Like, Brian and I are doing this series. It's Unaccessible Games. It's like basically like, I think I pitched it to you like working class games, but then we kind of worked out a better angle on it. And first episode was great.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat
like,
was fun. What were some of those games you liked, Brett? Were you into? Because I'll list some of the ones we had and see what your thoughts are. Punch Out, the Punch Out series.
Oh yeah, Punch Out with Marlon. Yep.
Yeah, that was a huge game.
One of the great games. Right?
One of my favorites. Yeah, whenever I download a Super Nintendo emulator, I go get that game real quick and play it for like an hour or so.
Is it the only? It's really the only one from the NES, right? Is Punch Out?
I don't play the NES one. I play Super Nintendo. I play Super Punch Out.
I was gonna say, so you're a Super Nintendo Punch Out. You're a Super Punch Out guy.
Yep.
I find that one hard.
I was an NES Punch Out guy.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you don't like Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
No, not for me. I don't. The NES graphics are just too bad for me. You cut your eyes on them fucking harsh corners. I don't know that. Yeah,
I mean, I gotta say, Super Punch Out looks nice, even today.
Yeah, I do like the capabilities of Super Nintendo. That's the one I visit the most, even more than like PlayStation or Dreamcast. I had for a while because I was bootlegging games a lot, so I like that one. But
it's a good one for bootlegging.
Do you guys? I'm going to ask you both this because you're both people that gamed in that time. Do you guys think the PlayStation 1 sucked? Like, I kind of look at it now and it's like, there's no games I would go back and play.
No, man, it's like the bedrock of like so many franchises that are still huge right now.
Really?
And I get what you're saying. Like, it is kind of a thing where you have to have been there in some ways because it is a little bit like
to go back.
It is a little strange to go back to now if you've never played them when they came out.
I mean, they've done a lot. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they've done a lot of remakes of games but not all of them. I don't know if I would necessarily go play a PS1 game and say that it would be that enjoyable. I would probably be very surprising the way it looked. You know,
I feel like the PlayStation 1 games are all ugly. Like, they were just very ugly games. I tried to play them not too long ago.
Yeah,
and it was
but-
just like, this game is like, I mean, Crash Bandicoot's the only one I think I would still play.
The aliasing on
But
it
they were
is wild.
gorgeous.
But some of them were, but like there's Front Mission 3 was like a really good game that I liked. All of the Japanese RPGs I'm really into, like still like the Illusions of Mana or whatever, that one still looks pretty good.
I think Xenogears still looks good. That one looks better than Final Fantasy Final Fantasy VII looks now. I feel like the Final Fantasies leaned in, except Final Fantasy IX was a little different. The Final Fantasies leaned in hard on the polygons and that kind of.
Yeah, you're
Twisted Metal looks really bad.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably right. I mean, it is pretty janky, and they've done a remix of a lot of that stuff. I can't say that I'm like could think of enough games to go back and do it. Like a Sega, I would buy a Sega Saturn over like a PlayStation 1.
See, that's what
that was so good.
The Saturn is totally forgotten, right?
Yeah,
like, I can't think of
there's
any classic games on the Sega Saturn.
Panzer Dragoon is like a pretty good shoot 'em up. The Nights into Dreams is fun. There was a Virtual On game. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. Virtual On had a good game too. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say there's some Kojima games on there too. He put out I don't know, I forget what it's called, like Police Knots. That was the one he put out on there. Yeah, there's just like a bunch of like kind of cool, like you were saying, like Panzer Dragoon or Knights was on there. Like there's just cool stuff that was really kind of, I don't know, cult classics even at the time. Because like that was where the first like Marvel vs. Capcom came out on. Like that was a cool system for just like weird stuff that people weren't playing unless they
I think a lot of it is like gameplay too. Like Radiant Silvergun is like a shoot. There's lots of shoot 'em up games on there. There's also, I thought on Saturn that isn't one of the like X-Men versus Street Fighter is on there, and I think is better than PlayStation.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking of. It's not Marvel vs. Capcom. It's X-Men Street Fighter, or it's either that or Marvel vs. Street Fighter.
Yeah,
I forget. They put out some weird ones before then when it wasn't quite like as big as Marvel vs. Capcom, but like sort of they were getting to it. Yeah, that stuff is fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never heard anybody have good feelings about Sega CD or Sega Saturn.
I did see, but I was also like, I would go and hang out at the video game store all day, and it would be like some 39-year-old guy that would be selling us all this stuff. He would be like, I just imported this game from Japan. It's fucking crazy. I can print out all of the English translation for you, and he would sell it to you for like $75 or something, you know? Like that was the hustle. So for me, it was like the AAA games. I did like some of them, like the Madden, and I did love fighting games from the arcade, but most of my console gaming at that point was just really weird out there shit. Just, you know, like Pa Rappa the Rappa is probably, that's like a good one that I like from PlayStation. You know, that would be like the top of my list to go back and play from PlayStation 1.
I mean, one of the games
game was like good on a demo, dude.
I never played it. I never played that. But one of the games I would totally go back and play is Guitar Hero. I thought that game was fucking awesome, man. I'm glad. I hate that they replaced it with a real guitar.
Yeah.
Like, that bums me out.
The Guitar Smith game.
I'm not trying to learn to play guitar. I'm just trying to learn to play Guitar Hero, you know?
Yeah.
I was lucky. One of the live shows I did, the last one I did was with a guy who writes for Giant Bomb, Alex Navarro, who's a really cool dude. And he's also like a really good drummer. He just joined a hardcore band in New York, and like he's just very good at it. And the game he wanted to play for it was Rock Band. And so we played Rock Band, and it is still so fun.
It is
the best.
It's weird that stuff went away. I think the only reason those games went away is because they take up too much space in your fucking living room, you know? And we talked about this on the show me and you did together about Mortal Kombat. It's like gaming does not feel communal anymore at all to me.
Right. No, not at all.
You don't count the online?
Super interested about. Yeah, I guess, but like it kind of feels communal online if you have like a crew. But you have to make your crew. It's not like you can go, like in the past it was like you could go to an arcade and it was like, you know, whoever happened to be there, that was like, you know, you could do like next up or whatever, and it would be like, okay, like I'm getting to know these people just for like right now. I may never see them again, but this is like my crew for the moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like if I'm playing Fortnite, I need to have people I know, or else
Dude.
it's not gonna work.
I know you got a kid. You go to Dave and Buster's at all?
I've been, yeah. That is such a good feeling to go there. And, like,
But I mean,
those old games.
but some of it, like, have you seen that DC Justice fighting game?
No.
Oh man,
Or
it's
Injustice, or?
Injustice. Yeah, it's one fucking
yeah,
button.
that's
It's
beautiful.
one button,
Yeah.
dude. It's just you have
so
to
fun.
tap the button at the right time, basically, and it requires like no combos. There's no light, medium, and strong punch. None of that. One fucking button. Just slamming one button and like moving the joystick around. I'm so turned off by. I gotta try it.
Yeah. I am turned off by that, though.
Yeah, that makes him like, what am I supposed to learn here?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
Guitar Hero is there too. They do have that as well. If you
you
want
play
to
with enough people, though. Like I feel like that's the thing, right? Like you play with enough people, and it can be fun. I guess that's like one of the things that was something we talked about a lot in the episode, where it's like, you know, like even if you didn't exactly know what you were doing in Mortal Kombat, like figuring it out with a bunch of people or trying to one up a bunch of people, even if it was like the simplest or the dumbest thing, was fun. Like I can imagine getting really, really into Injustice and being like, yeah, like I just wanna learn how to do this dumb thing you just did with Superman or whatever.
there's an arcade repair person in the chat that says the Injustice game makes them fucking mad.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same way. I mean, I just feel like I said this on the show we did. Mortal Kombat felt like a sport. It felt like fucking it felt like you were breaking the game. And it feels like if you take all of that stuff out of it, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything. Again, something I liked about Mortal Kombat is that it felt off the rails. And a lot of other games did not feel like, there were so many games that felt very on the rails, where it was like, you can only do this and there's no other way to do it. When in Mortal Kombat, like, people were just fucking hacking those combo systems and shit like that, where it was really fucking neat, you know?
Well, and the other thing too is like getting into those like combos at the end, like they were intense. You had to do it very fast.
Yes.
It was not like they didn't let you take your time. They didn't let you read it off a piece of paper.
No.
You had to be able to hammer it out, and get it out. And you'd pull off like, you wouldn't do it. You would whoop someone's ass thoroughly, and then it wouldn't fucking happen, and you'd have to beat another fucking person just to pull off.
I remember that
babality or something.
Feeling of like, now I don't get to do. I have to go through this again to get to the fatality. Like, come on, man! Like,
right? It's the big finish.
I've been real bummed out with myself recently because I forgot all the fatalities, and like, so what I tried to do in my brain to like neutralize the guilt of forgetting all the fatalities is be like, the fatalities aren't that important anyway. It's not like it's during gameplay or anything like that.
Fatalities don't win matches.
Yeah. It don't matter. I'll just uppercut him. Really, I don't care.
Do you really feel that way, though, Brian? Are you?
I don't. No, I feel like I should know some fatalities. I feel like part of fighting games, especially in public, is talking shit and doing fatalities and fucking looking the person next to you right in the face as like they pull the head off of their guy and be like, I just did that to you, motherfucker. You know?
Yeah. When I used to work at the mall at the All-Star Cafe, and we would go in the tunnels. There's like, when in the mall, there's like secret corridors where the trash goes and all that shit. They'll get you outside.
Sure.
So when I was underage, I was probably, I think I was 16 at that job. Yeah, I was 16. And we would go into GameWorks was the name of it, but it was a bar and an arcade. But we would sneak in the back through the trash door and just play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 like all night long. And it would just be standing there, and someone would pull off a fucking 128 hit combo, and the person would just feel embarrassed.
I
would
know.
just be, and everybody would just be yelling, and it was so much fun.
Yeah. I want to do that again. I think me and Brett have decided to try to do a Mortal Kombat tournament soon.
you should. You know what? There was someone. I gotta send it to you guys because there was someone. I mentioned this in my Discord that I was trying to get you into. Like, I was like, I think I might have convinced Brian to get a fight stick. And they were like, get Brian down to Combo Breaker, which is the one in, apparently that is the Mortal Kombat tournament down in, like, right outside Chicago. And they were saying there was like it was like two, to find it. It was like, oh yeah, here it is. It's Texas versus Florida. Basically 2 crews, one crew from Texas and one crew from Florida, just going head to head. A 10v10 match. Apparently it was like absolutely spectacular.
Texas
Pandemonium.
But,
Get in on that.
Yeah.
Like wrestling, except on the just on the computer.
I need and the outcomes aren't predetermined. I do want a fight stick now, I think. I don't know how to break that to my wife. Hey, I'm going to need a $200 video game controller because I want to be really good at a fighting game.
You'll need a storage case for it too.
I know. Maybe we'll.
Sure, or else you're gonna hurt it.
Maybe
don't want to do that.
Let's tell her on Saturday that I need one.
Okay.
It's my birthday.
We'll
It'll just be like, hey, I need a fight stick, and then Brett can be like, no, he really needs a fight stick. It's important. It's like it's integral to the Street Fight Radio brand that Brian have a fight stick. And then what I'll do is I'll get a Switch Pro controller too. And then I'll have people over to my house, and I'll use the fight stick and give them the shitty Switch Pro controller, and I'll whip their asses. It'll be great.
Pull fatalities on them. The other one is actually, this is another, we got to get calls in here, but we're doing some reminiscing. I went to a friend's house to hang out, and their daughter busted out the Dance Now on Wii. And her and my daughter were dancing and doing the thing. And I was like, man, I remember the Dance Dance Revolution pads at home, and there was like people that modded them and put like their own foam inside of them to try to get it right.
People who get like the metal, like make it like super sturdy.
Yes, there were people that built. Yeah, they took the sensors out of the mat and built their own fucking mats on message boards and like release the information on how to build your own.
Shit never worked. Remember the Nintendo Power Pad?
Yeah.
That thing didn't work at all.
Yeah, I mean, you would spend a decent amount of money, and it was still, like, sliding all over the ground on that fucking pad.
Only way anybody...
Slightly worse than the arcade.
The only way anybody used the power pad was pounding on it with their hands. I never saw it used the right way.
Yeah, Dance Dance Revolution, I still love to play it.
You love to see it.
A good game.
Still one of my faves.
So Trevor, what is your... So, I am going to be on No Cartridge bi-weekly talking about games. And
I'll put out some previews on the main feed. So if you check that out, that's wherever you get podcasts. No Cartridge. But the podcast itself with Brian's going to be on the Patreon at I'm liberating the Street Fight Radio model and just using it for myself. Putting my mini series on Patreon. But it's patreon.com/no cartridge. It's pretty easy. $5 a month, and that's everything pretty much. But yeah, that's if you want to try before you buy, check out the main feed. I probably am going to have a sample up tomorrow. And then check it out. We're going to have like at least 6 episodes at this rate, maybe more. I feel like every episode, this last one was like 2 hours long. We just had a great time.
Yeah,
I know. Brian can never stop talking.
I can never stop talking. That is true.
No, it was good though. It was all good stuff though. I wasn't ever at a point where I was like, man, Brian, I don't know if we should be like just like talking about what the weather is or like,
I don't do
what
that.
Our picks are for this weekend. It's like Brian's trying to get what my thoughts are on the spread for the conference championship games in football.
I almost bet today, but I didn't.
Would you have won?
I didn't know who to bet for. That's why I didn't do it. But I think I'm going to bet on the Super Bowl this year.
All right.
Really?
I think I'm going to drop 50 on the Super Bowl.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You want to make it real?
All right.
I do. Well, you know how I gamble.
Yeah, you're going to be rubbing the thigh off of your pants.
Yeah.
Your pockets are going to be hanging out of them. You can put holes in it.
Thanks for calling, Trev. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me out. This is great.
Yeah.
Talk to you guys later.
Have a good night, man.
I got to say,
I'm not going to rub my hands on my pants. That's $50. I'm going to bet it on the person that's got the points, right?
you're going to go for...
the overdog. What do they call the overdog?
Sure, you're going to go
chalk.
Yep.
That's what they say. I'm going to go chalk.
Okay.
And I'm going to win $50.
I love it.
That's my plan.
I love it. So we do... This is one...
Will you bet with me?
Yeah, I love to gamble.
Let's all bet on the Super Bowl.
If we're going to watch it, I like to win money.
Let's watch the Super Bowl. Let's agree to watch and bet on the Super Bowl. I don't watch sports anymore at all.
It's only good when there's money.
No, I know. It sucks.
So the chat is so good right now. There is like I said, a game tech in the chat, Mr. ZZRF, and they said that so the Injustice game is like a fighting game, but the arcade game is just a port of the mobile game where you just tap your phone to fight people.
I've noticed
in that it's a super cheap game. It only costs like $8,000 to buy it because it spits out collectible cards, and they have to constantly buy these collectible cards to spit out to people to play the game. So you're just like, you're walking in, you're spending money, you're moving a joystick around and beating on a button and getting shiny cards to collect.
I've noticed that at like the Dave and Buster's and in those arcades, they have basically just taken your phone and put it on a bigger screen.
Yeah,
on a lot of the games. Like
absolutely.
Fruit Ninja's in there.
Candy Crush is in there. Flappy Bird is in there.
Yeah.
Crossy Road or whatever that one is.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like they could do so much there, and then they've just decided like Candy Crush, we'll just put that there.
Yeah,
Like if they dropped a Mortal Kombat in one of those, people might fucking come there and play the Mortal Kombat. You know? I don't know what the research says.
It would be great too because I think it might be another moral outrage if they got really bloody and gross and it was like inside of Dave and Buster's. It would be amazing to see people get their feathers ruffled again. They're like, they're ripping people's spines out.
Yeah, I was actually talking about that on that show, but then I had this like thought yesterday, this like intrusive thought about like, I don't know why we're so surprised that the boomers are crazy. They like actually freaked out about Beavis and Butthead.
That's true.
And Mortal Kombat and fucking Marilyn Manson. Like they're the same fucking people that freaked about that stuff.
Fair.
Of course they're fucking nuts and they voted for Trump. We should have saw it coming when they first said they need to take Beavis and Butthead off the air. We should have been like, these are soft people.
Don't touch. Yeah.
Incredibly soft people that complain too much.
All right.
But that stuff actually drew us all so much closer to those things. Like that was what I said on No Cartridge episode is like parents were almost the best advertisements for edgy
all
shit.
that stuff. Yeah,
because as soon as parents got mad, I was like, I need this. I want to be involved with this.
That's disgusting. Or you would hear just parents talking about it.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this game? Have you heard about this show? They would just say stuff and you would just be listening to the conversation.
Like, what's the show? What's the game? You walk in, hey, what are you talking about? I got to go buy it.
Yeah.
Because that's why I told the story about how, like, I was watching, somehow the news was on when I was a kid, and I'm watching it, and it's right when As Nasty as They Want to Be came out. And they're doing the news story about As Nasty as They Want to Be. It might have been even MTV because I was watching MTV a lot as a kid. And like they do that news story, and the first thing I did, I had money because I got my allowance, is I went to the fucking record store and bought As Nasty as They Want to Be, like immediately. Like I needed to fucking hear it. And I took it home and listened to it. And it's not a good album, Brett, but it blew my fucking mind to hear a song called Fuck Shop.
Sure.
It's like, welcome to the Fuck Shop. And you're like, okay, like, I didn't know you could say Fuck Shop on
a record.
Yeah.
How did this get onto a record?
It was a cassette.
Or a cassette,
yeah. It was wild.
Yeah. So next call.
Yeah.
This is so they've called before, so this is a trustworthy caller. Our anonymous got scared off, I think. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Hey, what's up?
This is you.
Yo, what's up, Skeleton?
They always say, "Is this me?" So I just said, "This is
it's you."
Yeah, it was like one of those like I caught on quick, Yeah. Well, we're
hello,
Skelly Welly.
Hello.
Or he's loading up his racial slur
engine. Yeah, his
engine on his computer.
His memory locked up.
Yeah.
the skeletons turn. Yeah, it's you. It totally is.
Hey, shit! Do you guys really have a Flappy Bird machine at your Dave and Buster's? That's a hustle you can do.
Yeah, we do have Flappy Bird.
What's the hustle?
What? That's what it sounds like when you're playing it.
So I'm a guy that used to go to fighting game tournaments, sort of, I was a guy that was sitting on the bench if you're on an NBA team. But there are fighting game players that go to move to towns with Flappy Bird machines because it's a game you can beat. And you can spend like $5 in coins if you get good enough and win an iPad and flip it for like $200 on the street.
What?
Well, they do have at Dave & Buster's. They have Nintendo Switches. They do have the major game consoles. You can also get food. It's pretty cheap to get food. Like, I've won.
If you can get tickets from a Flappy Bird game, you should learn how to play that game well enough and make like $1,000 before they sell it.
I'll check it out.
Look it up. Yeah.
That is a Brett
I go
hack.
all the time. Yeah.
That is the most. You just made the most Brett Payne phone call ever to a radio show like that. Because Brett is now going to fucking sit on the internet and be like, "How you beat that Flappy Bird?"
You know what I did though? I went to Dave and Buster's with Drew Toothpaste and Natalie D from Garbage Brain University podcast, and Drew showed me how to beat that game where you shoot the red balls into the buckets. Like, he has the timing down perfectly. It was amazing. He shot all 50 balls into the bucket, and I thought that was the most impossible game in that place, but he has it down. It was so awesome. I was really impressed.
You get tickets?
Yeah, he got the jackpot. It was like 1,000 tickets or something.
How many tickets
You got to get it so you can make money getting the iPad.
How much is the iPad? How many tickets is the iPad?
I don't know. I've never done this hustle. I just know about people that have done it. So.
I'm looking it
I
up.
don't know if there's an iPad. There is definitely a Nintendo Switch.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up while you guys talk here. So Flappy Bird is the game though. It's not like Fruit Ninja. You can't, because I'm good at Fruit Ninja. I'll fuck a Fruit Ninja up, dude. But it's just not as many tickets.
It's just like the one game that they have to like. People like move from town to town. I'm surprised there aren't people playing Flappy Bird at your town like constantly.
Sure.
To make money off of it, yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I'll have to put the word out.
So
I'll have to look for some of the cryptic signs outside the Dave and Buster's to let them know who's hit up the Flappy Bird.
Right.
So a Nintendo Switch is 100,000 tickets.
Okay. I probably average. I mean, I don't know. That's still. I don't know. I average probably like 6,000 to 8,000 tickets a visit.
Yeah, iPads are 130 grand.
Ooh, yeah, that's a lot.
130,000. How many do you get?
6,000 to 8,000.
Ooh, okay, that's
per
sad.
visit.
Okay, you go a lot though.
I do go a lot.
You are Dave and Buster's reg.
Yeah, my kid really soaks it all up. I spend most of my tickets on Squishmallow stuffed animals, or there's these little burrito pets. And actually, she did the brattiest thing in the world. She bought this blind bag burrito pet, and she got a turtle. And she cried as soon as she saw it. And we were like, what's the problem? She said, it looks creepy.
Fucking absolutely rules. Your kid is at that phase. I'm not saying anything out of school. His kid is at the phase where she throws tantrums for every single thing. And it's funny every single time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not every single thing.
Well, but it's just some of the things.
Some of it is just like, damn. Yeah, it really just pops off. And
like you're not a human yet.
Yeah.
You haven't figured out how to exist in a society yet.
Yeah.
Like when she got mad because we were talking about her.
Oh, yeah.
And then she cried and said, stop talking about me. I was like, she just doesn't even know how to. And then Brett's like, don't do anything newsworthy.
I did say that.
I get mad when people talk about me, right? It's normal.
Yeah. I mean, you don't yell at them, though, and say, stop talking about me.
Well, she could have also advocated for stuff. You got to jump in there and say, hey, you can't talk shit about me right in front of my face.
I'm looking it up.
I wasn't even talking shit. I was literally just relaying that something happened earlier in the day to Brian, and she got offended by it.
Yeah. Listen to this. I just found our Dave and Buster's. I think you just opened a fucking portal in my brain that is going to send me to Dave and Buster's now. I've always resisted because I know I'm going to spend $7,000 there. But now I'm reading these threads, and I'm like, okay.
I'll tell you, the Dave and Buster's game is you have to download the app. Every Wednesday is Half Price Wednesday, but every Thursday through Tuesday, they released a 20 for $20 on the app. So on not a Wednesday, you pay $20, you get $40 worth of credit, but then you go on a Wednesday and it spends like $80 worth of credit.
So you get $80 free dollars.
And imagine if you took home 8 Nintendo Switches with those $80.
No, I wish I could.
I mean, I just think like you need
but
like
you can
$100,000 is like an amount of tickets that I think is impossible.
But let me tell you this. The avocado toast, the Mexican street corn avocado toast, 750 tickets. The pizza dip is like 750. The chocolate cake is 500. Like me and my daughter have had whole meals off of tickets.
Okay.
There's a good podcast about a guy that scammed it so that everybody could get calamari for free. There was a whole podcast. Oh man, I gotta find it now.
Why?
He threw a party. He invited all of his friends in the room, and he had a bunch of people, his like best players, go and get the most tickets that they could. And he just had people kept racking up orders of like free appetizers and desserts and shit that they could get from tickets. And he just was out there like winning all of this stuff for him and throwing a gigantic party.
You know,
it was a very good listen. I'm gonna get the name for it.
You know, this caller and you just really brought me to brought something to my attention, because like it seems like there are Dave and Buster's people that are like those amusement park people that are just like obsessed and they go all the time. I'm now seeing an article called Confessions of a Dave and Buster's Advanced Player. And I'm just like, they should give you special game cards and shit too if you get to that point.
Okay, it's a really good podcast. The name of it is Yeah, But Still. And the title of the episode is The Calamari Algorithm. And that's what it says. It's the equation developed by Jack in order to potentially fund a large calamari-based party at Dave & Buster's called the Calamari Mixer. But it's all about, you know, because there are not a lot of adults that play the games, I realized, or they aren't trying hard enough.
They don't care. Yeah, they just walk away from
I'm a clean sweep. I felt bad. I was just trying games out and getting jackpots on them. And my daughter is the luckiest fucking kid in the world. It blows my mind because I was like, hey, spin the big wheel. You're pretty lucky. And she did. She spins it and it goes all the way around. And there's a $1,000 ticket line that's really thin, and it's surrounded by these huge 4 areas, and it stops right on the 4. But the machine wasn't calibrated correctly, so it actually just counted off 1,000 fucking tickets and gave her a bonus spin.
Jesus, I'm reading
She's
this.
really good,
Brett. I'm reading this, and I gotta tell you, dude, you're an advanced player, and
you think
here's
so?
why. Yeah. What was your greatest one-day ticket haul? This is tough since I mostly measure my success based on my efficiency during the time spent. Much like a professional poker player, I look at my time at D&B like one long, never-ending trip, not as a series of daily appearances. That being said, my biggest days are half-price Wednesdays. I'll hit the DB on my lunch break, and churning out about 12 to 15,000 an hour is a great haul.
Okay.
I generally make a second trip after work and add another 10 to 12,000 to the daily haul. So you're almost there, dude. You're very close.
And actually what I do, and I did this with my wife this year, is so for Christmas time, to get gifts, I just go and play, because when I take my daughter, she distracts me and I'm not getting the best. So last year I was like, I really want to go to Dave & Buster's and be able to focus on just getting the most tickets. So this year me and my wife went, and we got her like a cat lamp, and we got her like a slime play set, and we got her all these fucking gifts off of, $20 of fucking credit. It was awesome.
Yeah, this is crazy. Thank you for bringing this to the show. I'm very interested in this now. I'm gonna be doing some research tonight.
It's a kind of gambling, right? Like it's any other kind of gambling.
Yeah. I mean, but it feels, I don't like casinos.
Real money's
are a real
better.
fucking bummer.
Yeah, they are a bummer.
You know? And I like always, I leave casinos feeling guilty. I think I would leave Dave & Buster's just being like, oh, I just blew $40, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I think also the thing that's nice is that you can actually be good at the games, and you do get rewarded for it, where it's like, if you're good at blackjack, you're just going to win 49.5% of the time, which means they're always going to win a majority of the time.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't ever get to actually get the edge. You don't actually get to be proficient at the game. Like, the Zombie Snatcher game, I have it down where I can Babe Ruth the puck and like just clip $500 or 500. I keep saying dollars. I call it dollars because it makes me feel more important.
I wish it was dollars, dude.
Yeah. Let it be real dollars. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When I'm president, all Dave & Buster's tickets will be real dollars.
Real dollars. Yep.
Here's a Wired article titled "The Ticket Kings Who Make $50 an Hour Playing Arcade Games."
I mean, you could eBay that stuff. A lot of it is, there's collectibles. They have Funko Pops. They have blind bags. I got fucking Gudetama collectibles from there.
That is true. I mean, I can't fucking
They have
believe
video
it.
games, Switches, all of it. It's a weird thing.
This is crazy. Well, thanks for calling in. You just really hipped me to something.
Oh shit, I hung up on him.
Well, he hit me to something, and that's very
Sorry.
nice.
You can call back. I'll answer it first.
That was awesome. I mean, I had no idea that there were I you know what I always think about, and I said it in the call. Those people that are super into theme parks that like go to all of them all year, and I like always considered them total fucking weirdos. And then like to find out that there's like Dave and Buster's versions of that, that's like a total fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
You know, that's as weird as you get. I think that's probably as weird as you can get as an adult.
Well, I mean, I guess if you had the extra time, it would be hard for me to resist the urge to go there all the time.
Do you think it's
like if
more
I
fun?
worked nearby one and I didn't have a child, it would be very hard for me not to take like an afternoon and just go get a bunch of shit and like resell it on eBay or something.
Right, I'm thinking that you could probably have made that. I mean, that is something if you didn't have Charlotte and I didn't have Gwen. Like, we could probably make as much as we make doing Street Fight.
No, I don't think it's that much. I don't think it's that big of an exploit.
$50 an hour, dude.
You got to pay to play, though. Like, you are paying money, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the food is the best option. To me, like, being able to win, like, a huge plate of street corn is, like, fucking way better than, like, a stuffy.
You will never talk the Quinby family into eating at Dave & Buster's. I might do it.
Pepperoni
I'm
pizza.
a sicko.
They got Impossible Burgers.
Right, I'm a sicko, but my family... My daughter, like a couple weeks ago, I bought a steak because they were getting fish, right? And my daughter was like, ew, you're buying steak from Kroger? Which is like, come
Damn,
on.
dog, yeah.
I'm not buying it from like fucking Big Lots or something.
Yeah, who
It's
are you?
fucking
You
Kroger,
do
man.
better. You buy me a better
Yeah,
steak.
that's the damn store. What do you want me to do? Go to a fucking, walk into somebody's like steak aging system and buy a steak? I'm broke, man. But yeah, it's just like my family has gotten really... I was talking about this the other day, and my wife hears these shows, so she's going to get mad at me. But I happen to notice that when I was listening to a lot of Man Cow, my wife like had almost no problem with it, right?
Okay.
'Cause it was just happening in my ears. It might have happened when I was in the shower. It wasn't something that she was like confronted with. But I don't feel comfortable listening to talk radio with anybody. Like podcasts are for your ears, you know. I might play it out loud if I'm doing dishes or something. But like if somebody comes in the room, I'm just gonna turn it off.
Yeah, pause it.
Right. But now I'm doing a mini series on Kid Rock, and I'm playing Kid Rock a lot because like I fucking have to listen to the albums to see the differences between the albums and shit like that. And like Devil Without a Cause is good, right? Like it's not a bad album. My wife fucking hates it. And something that I've been trying to figure out is, and I think this is the case, this is what I figured out. She hates Kid Rock more because she has a connection to Kid Rock. She was a Kid Rock fan when we first started dating, and Kid Rock was big, never a Man Cow fan.
Right.
So it's like Man Cow, oh, you're just listening to that to make fun of it. You know what I mean? You're just making fun of that. But with Kid Rock, she's just like...
She just wanted to be reminded that she rocked out to Kid Rock.
She's like mad about it. She went to fucking Kid Rock concerts, dude.
Right.
Like paid to get in to see them and was excited about it. And I'm like, just, you're allowed to like stuff. You know, you're allowed to like things. You don't have to hide from this stuff.
But you don't have to say it's good.
No, you don't. But you should. Like, do you think like, I guess like I have to do it now because of the POD cast and the deep dives and shit. Like I've made it part of my job to like kind of listen to stuff that I was a fan of back in the day. You know, I've made that part of my job. But like when I listen to this stuff, I don't feel like a sense of shame for having enjoyed it. Like I'm not ashamed of it, and it doesn't make me mad, and I don't hate it, and it generally fills me with like nostalgia. I feel like, oh yeah, I remember where I was. Like I told the story of when we saw Kid Rock at Mecca, and there was like 20 people there, and it was like just this like amazing experience. And it was just like, I'm not ashamed of any of that. And it doesn't make me hate it. Like, it doesn't make me angry that I ever liked it. Now, I'm like trying to figure out, because this happens to a lot of people. They get older, or they maybe change their taste or whatever. And I do the same thing. But that, like, this shame comes where you feel like you have to, like, you can't like reconnect with it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just a half-baked thing, but it's just interesting to me that like I was listening to Kid Rock while I was getting ready, and I was listening to Devil Without a Cause because that's the next episode I'm doing. And my wife was like, "Oh, this sucks. This is fucking stupid." And it's like, you loved this.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's different though. I don't know if that is good. I don't know.
He's a huge asshole. So I can
don't know if the
understand.
music though, like, is just sounds like nothing that I like now or that she likes now. It just sounds like stupid music now.
But what do you think about stuff that you liked? What's the band? I'm trying to think of the band that I wanted to take you to see. Rancid, maybe?
Sure.
No, it's not Rancid.
I like Rancid. I love them.
It was one I wanted to take you to see that big concert. No Effects, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
It's one of those bands you love. How do you feel about those bands? Thursday is a great example. You like when we went and saw Thursday last year. You were like in ecstasy. You were like, oh yeah, this was a time in my life and I love this and it's really fun. But Thursday is like a whole different case.
I think Thursday's so good.
Yeah, they're a whole different case. I don't mean to say, but what do you think about like Rancid or No Effects or some of the
I like
old
that
punk
stuff.
you like? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess I still like
you don't
it.
turn your back on it and you don't get angry when you hear. If I played No Effects right now, you'd be like, dude, it's tight that you're playing that song.
I don't know what I've turned my back on. I guess I don't know what I do feel like there's stuff that I'm just like, no, I don't do that anymore.
Mumford & Sons.
Yeah.
That's a band that I loved when they came out, and I turned my back on it. But if you put that fucking album on right now,
right,
I'd be going off
when
the
he
Little
talks
Lion
about,
Man.
Or how his like father was fighting for the land that they were farming.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah. I go fucking bonkers for it.
Yeah.
Still, just that one album. You know what I mean? Or like Avett Brothers, the I Am Loving You album.
Sure.
I would never admit that I like the Avett Brothers now, but if I heard that album, I'd be
Yeah.
like, in January, we're getting married.
Right.
And I'd be just going off to it.
For
you
sure.
know? I would never go back and say, in retrospect, I now hate this and I want nothing to do with it ever again in my entire life.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you do. I kind of have the same feeling as Katie, though, which is like, why would you give any attention to this piece of shit?
Well, yeah, and I agree with you. I do think, like, Kid Rock, to me, like, with Katie, and with probably a lot of people that are going to listen to the series, is, like, an enormous piece of shit. I can give, like, a short little preview of what me and Chris Wade talked about on the episode about the first 3 albums. And we just talked about how, like, that guy had a real opportunity to make something very neat. You know, like something that, like, sort of bridges the gap between, like, trailer parks, southern trailer parks, and, like, northern, like, urban communities and shit like that. Like, he was really doing something very interesting. And then apparently, I mean, our guess was that he was on Fox News and he sort of felt like, well, people responded very well to me being on Fox News. I'm going to move in that direction.
Yeah, it's what people like, yeah.
And it killed his legacy. I think it killed him, you know? He's still very famous, but I think, like, in the future now we're going to look at him and, like, sort of the way, like, when I was a kid, or when I was 18, 19, 20, Eminem was considered, like, the greatest that ever did it. And now people are kind of like, Eminem kind of corny. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
we can take another call.
True.
I'm sorry I did that.
It's fine. It's no problem. We enjoy it. I'm sure it's going to be great. I mean, people are going to love it. I have to.
No, it's good. It's actually a good show. I'm really excited about people hearing it.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hey, this is Tice. I called in like probably a few years ago, actually. I've been listening to this show constantly, but I just haven't called in for a while.
Well, what's
How's
up?
it going?
Not bad. How are you?
I mean, it's been a wild 2020 for me so far, and for, I guess, the whole world, but I'm doing pretty good, I guess.
All right. Well, what's going on tonight, Tice?
Ooh, well, I have let's call it a police story.
Okay. I don't like
that,
but I like stories. So I'm gonna let you.
I don't like this story either,
okay.
but I had to deal with it.
Okay, what's up?
So on I think it was last Tuesday. I live in Idaho, and I live very close to the Washington border. I'm not going to say exactly where I live, obviously, but
I think I know what's going on here. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't want to blow your story, but you went over to Washington and bought weed and brought it back to Idaho, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but I do that all the time.
I would too, dude. Somebody, I was telling, I think it was Jason, our producer. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to drive up to Michigan and get some weed. And he was like, they're going to be looking for people at the border. And I was like, they ain't going to be looking for me. You know?
Yeah.
I'm just not the kind of guy they profile. But what happened now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. So nothing happened on Tuesday. So I live so close to the Washington border, and there's a dispo very close that's less than a mile from the Idaho border.
Oh, that's a dangerous
So I can just bike there.
Oh, nice. Bikes is the best
They
way
ain't
to
gonna pull
do
you over on a
drugs.
bike, dude.
I
Yeah.
love all of my hard drugs. I pick up on a bike or do like a Lyft or like a rent a car, or like a car to go.
Smart.
Because even like in those car to go situations or a zip car, the police like pretty much know that they just treat you like you're a special person. Like you have extra rights
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah. But so, I bought 100 milligrams of edibles, a dab pen, or bought a 1 gram cart, and I bought a 1 gram joint as well. And then I just went home, did my thing. The next day I wake up at noon, which is the best time to wake up. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to smoke that joint. So I smoke the joint in my apartment, which I never do. I usually just use my dab pen or have edibles. But this time I decided to smoke a joint in my apartment, which turns out not a good idea. So then, 3 or 4 hours later, I'm preparing to go head out and go buy some shit, go buy some tortillas and stuff. And then I get a knock on the door. I'm like, I'm not answering that. And then I get an aggressive knock on the door. This isn't the police. So, by the way, the police come later. And then I hear a fucking key or a lockpick, not quite sure which, go in in the keyhole in my door. And then they start for the next 5 to 10 minutes, probably around 8 minutes, seemingly trying to pick my door and break in. Because it's Christmas break here in a college town, so it's the perfect time to steal shit. And I'm like, okay, fuck. What do I do? And because I'm still, slightly high, my brain just breaks. I fucking hate cops, but I'm like, I'm worried about my safety right now. And so I'm like, dial 911. I go into the bathroom and dial 911. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, I smoked a joint earlier. So I'm like, maybe not. And they had already answered, but then I hung up and I'm like, fuck, I need to take control of this situation because they're probably going to come because they have my address, from where I called. I'm like, okay, I need to take control of this situation. And this person just keeps aggressively pulling my doorknob and seemingly trying to pick it or whatever. I'm like, fuck. And I'm a little, maybe slightly paranoid, and I'm kind of freaking out. I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll call again. And so I call again, and they ask for a description. So I carefully went and looked through my peephole, and it looked like they even had a mask on. I'm like, fuck.
I'm terrified for you right now.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, we have police in the area. They'll come down and go check out the area, and then you'll just have to talk to them. And so then I hang up, and then I go, as quick as I can, crack the, throw the windows open to air it out in here, and then I look out one of my windows and I see them talking to somebody who didn't really look like the person I saw. They didn't really fit the description I saw. And they were just like, hey, can we see ID? And then it seemed like they talked to them for a minute at most. And then they aggressively knock on my door. I'm like, ugh, because, I'm already shook.
Yeah.
So then I answer it and they're like, hey, can we come in? My first mistake, I say yes,
Oh,
even though I know not to do that.
Yeah, I always say no, extremely aggressively. Jason just looked at me. He's like, me too. Like, if the police ask if they can come in, I treat them like a vampire.
You say no and you close the door behind you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well-
if you even want to be like, we can just sit here and talk. You can talk to me all day and all night from right here, but you ain't coming in here. You know what I mean? Is the move.
Yeah, but my brain was like frazzled, so
Right.
I was treating them like people instead of vampires.
Yeah.
You know?
First mistake.
Did you? No.
Yep.
Man, I don't. Did you say anything when the person was trying to get into your door? Did you make a noise or say like, "Get the fuck out of here"?
No, because my brain was just in like panic mode.
Will make most people do not want to do a crime with a witness there, and if you just let them know
for sure.
that you're inside of there, they will move on to your neighbor's place.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you too. This
Just say, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah. Hey, get the fuck out of here. But I do also understand panicking like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like doing something that you wouldn't normally do.
Well, I mean, the police, all they do is just like, write a story about how you died. I mean, you have to like do
That is
something
true.
in the situation to take care of yourself.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. But so they came in your house?
Yeah, and then they're like, "So what was the description? Did you see the person?" And I gave the description, and I said they had like the mask that I thought I saw looked kind of like, you know, those dumbass workout masks that people wear. It was kind of that shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it was one of those, but it was like a black thing. It kind of looked like a bandana, but pulled up in a weird way.
Okay.
I don't know. And they were just like, I told them that shit, and I was like, dude, it was like 5 to 10 minutes, like probably 8-ish. And they're like, well, we talked to them out there, and well, there was no mask. I'm like, okay. And then they went on to explain, it seems it was just a misunderstanding that they were at the wrong apartment for 5 minutes. And I'm like, sure. And they're like, so, here's the thing. So, sometimes with marijuana, and I just try as little to react as possible, people get paranoid sometimes. Is that what happened to you? And I'm like, no. And they're like, because we can smell it. And then, it keeps escalating. And they're like, basically hinting that they're going to search. And I'm like, fuck. So they're like, so here's the deal. We can, we'll leave. And then you have to throw that shit away.
Oh, okay.
And,
yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, And, but then they were like, it smells like green weed in here. How much do you have? And they kept trying to figure out, because I think in Idaho it's 3 grams over 3 grams is 3 or over is a felony, which I definitely didn't have that much. But they kept, and then they were basically coming back to the point where they were going to search again, and they were like, okay, just grab your shit and we'll go throw it out.
Oh no.
And so I went and grabbed the edibles. I had 2, so it was 80 milligrams by that point, and then grabbed my cart. We walked out to the dumpster and threw it away. They said with the edibles, break them up so that you're less tempted to dig them out of the trash.
Oh, Jesus.
I was tempted. So
I would have went and got that shit out of the trash, probably. If I had done all the steps you took, I would definitely go back out and get out of the trash. But now I even am looking at it, because I am also a very paranoid guy. I would have been like, they're probably staking out that dumpster. You know what I mean? And not do it.
Yeah. Well, I can see the dumpster from my apartment complex right outside my window, so I kept peeking every few hours to see if there was anybody out there. And I was about to head out, but then I was like, okay, we'll wait a few hours until it's pretty late at night. And then it snowed quite a bit, so it was bright as hell out there because the snow was so reflective. So I'm like, okay, I might have to wait until the morning. And then the trash came in the morning. So
That sucks.
Long gone.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, you learned a lesson, right? That like only trouble comes when the police come to your house.
Yeah, you know, you made all the wrong moves.
But
So-
well, I mean, I've done that a bunch of times. I mean, I've
Sure,
gone
it
through
happens.
occasions
It's
where
a
I made
learning.
all the wrong moves.
Absolutely, I have
you
to.
know?
I did. I've done it as well.
It is. I mean, I'm not even. I'm not. I wouldn't even make fun of you. I just am like I am. You're now making me think of other times where I got paranoid and made all the wrong fucking moves. You know, Brett. I'll tell you. Brett will probably tell you this, but when you got busted with a weed charge, you made a huge wrong move.
I
didn't
did.
you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
No, I told the guy I had weed.
Yeah.
I thought I could get away with it. But like, yeah, I did.
Yeah. I mean, we all do stuff.
Well-
We all. I mean, here's. You want to hear how I'll tell you something real quick. So about about 3 or 4 years ago, me and my neighbor were at war, and in retrospect, that was probably my fault more than his fault. Although he was a dick, right? He was an
Yeah.
asshole. He came to my house on Christmas and asked me to tell my kids to be quiet while they're playing. And it's like, motherfucker, it is Christmas. It was midday.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I hated this guy. And I was baking firecrackers, which are weed edibles, and it like made the house smell like weed because I didn't cover the weed enough with the peanut butter, because it shouldn't smell like weed, but sometimes it does. He called the fucking police on me. And the cops came, and they walked around so I'm out there walking around my house, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So I opened the door, and they come around to the door, and they're like, hey, your neighbor called and said you were smoking weed in your house. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he was like, well, do you have any weed in your house? And I was like, no. Well, no. He said, do you have any weed in my house? And I sort of like pushed it off, like didn't answer it concretely or anything. And he was like, can we come in and look around? And I was like, I'll tell you what, you can come in here and look around if you go get a warrant. And by the time you get a warrant, I will have flushed whatever I have down the toilet, and it's not enough for you to do anything to, because I was like, I have like an 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, there's just not enough here for you to do anything, so you might as well just leave. And they fucking left. They just fucking left. But the police force in my neighborhood is one of those ones that's like there to sort of protect the neighborhood property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't pull people over that live there. They don't really fuck with you if you live there. If you're an outsider, that's when they come and get you.
Sure.
But yeah, I told them like there's no reason for you to come in this house because there's not enough weed for you to do anything, and they just fucking left. But your cop sounded much worse than mine. So
Yeah. Oh, and it was. Oh, go ahead.
I just can't believe, like, this is what the police are, actually, right? You call them, they say they're standing between you and things in the outside world that can hurt you. So you think something might hurt you, you call them, and then they start fucking accusing you of shit.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Well, and they didn't they barely cared about asking what actually transpired. They were like immediately trying to say that I was just paranoid. And it's like, motherfucker, like, come on. Actually, it was also interesting because, like, you know, the Sarge was the one standing the farthest forward, and then, like, somebody said, like, oh, the prosecutor's going to come up, and this was before they started insinuating that I had weed, which was true, but whatever. And I'm like, I'm not pressing charges because I didn't want to, like, even if this person had broken in, I don't really want to press charges. I just don't want to get hurt.
Just
you know?
chase you. Yeah, you just, like, chase them away, but they don't do that. Like, that's not
And then
the
they're like,
thing.
Yeah, and then they said, well, of course, because they did nothing wrong. I'm like, what? How do you just know that? Like, because I think, like, what happened is the person just, like, they saw the cop rolling up and they decided to play coy, you know, and be like, no, I was just at the wrong house. But it was really, like, troubling when I realized, oh, like, when they said, of course, I'm like, oh, shit, the prosecutor is here for me.
Yeah. God damn. Bad luck. Here's what did you hang up?
Accidentally.
You did not.
I accidentally hung up.
Well, we got to take a break. It's break time.
Yeah, I mean, you called the cops. They created that situation.
Yeah, but dude,
I mean, you were paranoid. You
Sounds
made it.
like
You
a
made up
young
a story
person.
about a mask. Someone tried to get in your house. They just had they didn't have the key.
Well, it
the
just
cops would
sounds-
love to bust a fucking thief
Right.
with
It
lock
sounds like
with
a
lockpick
young-
tools on them.
It sounded like a pretty young person.
Sure, I
And
understand.
That's where I was just like,
I get it.
I would have done the same fucking thing, dude. I've made mistakes in my day, and it seems like they really learned a fucking lesson that time.
Yeah, well,
That is a lesson
no,
learned.
they didn't. They said that they expected the police to inspect some sort of masked burglar that was in the area, is what they were getting to at the end of it. They
I mean,
flipped
the
it into
police-
some B shit areas.
The police.
The police said there was nobody out there. Stop being paranoid. I guess, do we always distrust the police? Or?
I do. I mean,
okay, so that
well-
means there was a masked burglar that was breaking into people's apartments.
I guess I'll say this. The way that oh my God, I'm trying to sign into Spotify. I guess the way I think about it is like, it does feel like the right thing to do. If I don't know.
It's not the right thing to do. You just say, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm here. You can't steal from me," and then they go to the next house to steal. If someone's burgling the house, you just make noise.
You think so?
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I've said that before, right? Like I've said that like most people just, what the fuck is going on? Most people just want to do what you would consider a victimless crime.
It's
you
good to know. It's good to know that. Yeah, it's good to know that like you shouldn't call the police. They're gonna fuck with you back. But like, I mean, you got to also take a little bit of ownership on inviting the situation into your life.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the police aren't there to bust. I don't think it's necessarily wrong to think that like because they don't care, I guess, would be my thing. God damn it. Jason, you said you could play the Spotify? No, I got it. I just forget my password all the time, and I don't have the app.
I'm sorry.
I swear I just used it the other day, but I got it. You just maybe take another call, and we'll take a break after that.
Okay. Sorry for hanging up on you, young fellow. All cops are bastards.
I just feel bad because I do the same. I
I
said,
know.
have made a lot of mistakes in my life, and it sounded like a young person. And of course, like, we don't want people calling the cops, but I also have gotten really high. And I said this once, Gwen, I was going to tell the story actually on that call. Gwen one time called me and said that there was somebody outside banging on stuff outside of the house. And I'm walking, right? She's like, they're walking around, they're banging on the house. I see them. It's a dude, and I'm afraid they're trying to break in. Can you please come here and help me? And like, I was like, I'm gonna fucking call a lift, and I'm gonna be there as soon as possible, right? And then she starts to give me more. I get her on the phone, and she's crying, and I'm like, so what's going on? And she's like, somebody's outside doing something to the house. And she was like, he had like a wagon with a bunch of little gray boxes in it. And now he's out on the back of the house, and I can't see him, but he's like drilling and And I'm like, that's the electric company, dude. They're changing the fucking meter. And she was like ready for me to call the police. You know what I mean? And I was like, no, we're not going to do that. So that's my little, my kid freaking out in the early days where she was, staying home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fucked up. Well, thanks for calling. Who's our new caller here? I won't hang up on you. I'm sorry.
That's just really into the hanging up thing now.
Hey, I'm Zach. I'm from Boise, Idaho, actually.
What's up, Zach? Were you trying to get into a dude's house the other day that smelled like weed?
No, I'm closer to the Oregon border, and if you go over there for weed, there are so many Idaho cars. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
But
yeah? I mean, do they really
not where that guy's at.
When you're driving across the border, are you nervous about that? Or are you do you drive like a newer model car or something? Because if you drive a newer model car and you look like me, they ain't fucking pulling you over. That's just the way it is.
So, no, my car is like a 2000, so it's not too new. So I do get a little nervous, but I mean, I just put it in with my spare tire, and I don't smoke anything on the way home. I'm not too worried about it.
You're so smart. The spare
Yeah.
tire move is a move that I've done myself.
I've even put it in a bag of like Burger King fast food before and just not ate it.
Smart. Covers it right up.
Yeah, Burger King will definitely cover up a disgusting, or Burger King smells way worse than weed. So like it's not real, because I want to go to Michigan, but I feel like I'm I feel invincible. I feel like I could put that weed on my dashboard and nobody would pull me over. You know?
Yeah, I mean, my friends, they all say not to worry, but I don't have a record, amazingly, and so I'm trying to keep that, 30 years old, and just try to keep that going.
That's very smart.
Yeah. So I really called to talk about retail. I messaged your guys' Instagram and kind of gave a rundown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I worked in shoes, selling shoes for approximately like 7 years.
Man, I gotta tell you, I recently went to Foot Locker and Kids Foot Locker to get my daughter her new shoes for Christmas. And I never felt, I just never realized how shitty that job seems like so much more. Because you got to go back and get the shoes. I made a guy go back and forth 4 times to get me shoes. And it's just like, God, I feel for you, dude.
Yeah, it gets to the point where you're like jumping up and down ladders and stuff. And you're on like a top shelf and you're like, oh, fuck the ladder. You just jump on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, so what would let me I'm gonna let you tell us, because I am interested. I have never worked at a shoe store or I don't think I've ever done retail.
Yeah, so that I kind of wanted to tell you the crazy timeline I had selling shoes. So I worked for 2 companies throughout the 7 years, and I was promoted and demoted 9 different times. I just counted it while I was waiting. And I managed 2 stores myself, so I relocated 2 times for these companies.
How do you get demoted, though? Like, I mean, can I hear, like, 1 or 2 of the reasons why you got demoted? I've never been demoted, and I am a shit worker.
So the first time, this is before I even decided I wanted to run my own store. So my manager got fired right after he promoted me. And he got fired for snorting Adderall with money from the register.
That seems fine.
I mean, he didn't keep the money. He just used it as a straw.
Yeah,
that doesn't
he
even
just put it back in. But he got his kicks by like using a $100 bill. He thought it was hilarious.
But I don't feel like that's against the rule. Well, snorting drugs, I get. But if he's prescribed those drugs, it doesn't feel like any of that.
How he administers them.
You know what I mean? It's like, you don't get to tell me how I take my medicine.
Right.
Right?
I'll insufflate my medicine if I want to.
So somebody ratted on him. It was funny, actually, because I got promoted and she was another assistant manager. So there was 2 of us, and I think she was a little like offended or something. But she ratted on him right after that. And then when they brought the new manager in, they demoted me back to part-time. So I'd only been an assistant manager for like a month at that point.
Oh, God. So they were like, we have to reverse the promotion you just got?
Yeah, and then the new manager promoted me again like a month later.
Oh, God. That is so weird.
They were just throwing you all over it seems like they were just tossing you. I mean, what? Oh, I don't want to ask what the store was, but was it a major?
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, what was it?
So the first company I worked at was Journey Shoes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a weird store.
And you moved? How big was the move that you made?
So first, so technically I moved 3 times, but the first one was my own choice. I moved to Boise. Actually, I'm from originally a smaller city in Idaho.
Okay.
So to get moved, the only position I could take was part-time, and then I got promoted again a couple weeks later.
Got it.
Kicking
So
ass,
what you have to understand, well, the shitty part is, so you get a week vacation for every year you've been there consistently as full-time. So every time a year reset.
Every time you got demoted, it would restart your clock?
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Oh, they were ripping.
They were just really treating you like a pawn on the playing board.
Those mall stores are ruthless, it feels like to me. Every call we've got from a person that worked in a mall store seemed ruthless.
And it is, but those big corporations too, though, they always have a big ask. Like they will ask you to move across the state or ask you to make these really life-changing moments for a position that probably isn't that much better than, your average, like white collar job.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're managing stores and they usually have to work 70 hours a week when you do it.
Yeah, I can't imagine you're getting it.
Definitely, man.
Once you're all the way in, and then you're spending all your time. We know somebody that moved to like the middle of fucking Alabama to work at a chain restaurant like steakhouse.
Franchise though.
Yeah.
We're shooting for a franchise.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So you're gonna love the next part. So let me keep going. So they finally decided to give me my own store, and it was because a guy. It was Eugene, Oregon. I don't care how much you guys know. So Eugene, Oregon.
That's a cool
This guy
city.
walked out of his store 2 days before Black Friday. So they gave me 7 days to figure out my shit and get to Eugene.
My God.
Journeys, by the way.
Journeys.
Shoes. Yeah,
we got to
reiterate that. Yeah.
These people need cheetah vans.
I don't. Can I? Quick digression. What is their brand? Like, what
All
are
of
they
them.
fucking selling there?
They got Tim's there. They got everything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is their like
hip shoe specialist? Right.
I don't know. I don't know what their brand is supposed to be. Hot Topic.
On the year.
Okay, because Hot Topic has a specific brand, right? Foot Locker has a specific brand. Journeys just seems like random shit just thrown in a store.
Their brand is a brick wall with like graffiti on it, which is like that seems like Time Magazine in 1986 writing about hip hop music.
Yeah. So
I mean, primarily it's Vans and Converse, and then it's just random shit depending on the year.
Okay. And so they had you move to Eugene.
So I loved Eugene. I was actually very happy. Working lots of hours, but they didn't have legal weed there, but they had medicinal, so it was easy to get.
Yeah. They got
so
it
anyway,
now. So cheap.
Yeah, exactly. I love going back over there. Actually,
Yeah.
they have 60. To digress, they have $60 ounces.
Oh, I know.
The low end, like goddamn. So anyway, so I'm feeling it. I've been there for a few months at this point, and they raised the minimum wage. So all my part-timers, they were at minimum wage, so they got it raised, but my assistant manager did not. And so he's making the same money as the part-timers, but doing like the assistant manager shit.
Wow.
So at that company, I couldn't just give him a raise as the store manager. I had to go through corporate. And so I spoke with my district manager, and he was basically like, they're like KPIs, but we call them SOPs. It's a long story, but anyway, KPIs. So we had these KPIs we had to hit, and he said I had to get this kid's KPIs up for the whole like year. So this is the end of the year. This is like December, 20th or some shit. So I faked his KPIs, and I got caught.
Oh no! That shouldn't even.
Yeah.
Who caught you though?
They actually caught him because the way I had to do it had to be through his numbers and shit, and he knew I was doing it because I told him I would, and they actually just flagged one of the transactions because it looked weird. And I'd faked these numbers before. It wasn't anything different for me. But they flagged it. And I get a call, and my district manager is like, we need to fire so-and-so because this is a sketchy transaction. And so for a moment, I was going to lie, but I couldn't think fast enough. So I just admitted, because we had a good relationship. He loved me. And he leaves me hanging for 5 days, tells me he has to figure out what to do. He shows up 5 days later. I see him walking into my store, and he looks sad. And I'm like, I'm done, aren't I?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. He just says, yeah, and then brings me outside and fires me.
That's
Yeah.
I mean,
You did the right thing.
You did.
Everything you did was right. You know, it just they got rid of you.
Well,
Like-
yeah, I mean, I guess you should have denied it for as long as you could, but it would have got your buddy fired.
Right, that's the thing. He could never lie.
Yeah.
Because it would just get a guy fired. So it was almost like you had to fall on your sword.
Yeah.
For somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad. I can't believe I think about like corporate structures and shit, and I don't know how big Journeys is, but according to this Wikipedia that I'm looking at to try to find out the brand, which doesn't
don't explain
at
it?
all. No, I can't figure out what their like goal is, what the thing is that they're doing.
It cracked me up. Someone in the chat said they thought it was sports or jock themed, which is I think
It's not,
that's
though.
every other shoe store. I think
No,
Journeys is casual
It's
shoes.
it. It's like
Well, they love you to have piercings and tattoos and shit. They're all into that.
it's
Yeah.
middle hip.
They, alt culture, you know,
Yes.
commercialized.
Yeah, it's like a middle. It's like hip if you're like a person that goes to the mall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it is, really.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and I had some plugs, you know, like my ears are stretched, and I had tattoos, and so I was like this perfect fit.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's. I mean, hey, you know,
Tattoo
what you
acceptance
did-
in the workplace is it's come a long way. So
Yeah, you can get a job selling shoes. Like, actually, that is like a thing though, because like back in like when I was a teenager, you wasn't selling shoes if you had tattoos. Like,
Yeah.
they were not gonna let you into there.
Well-
Did they drug test you?
no drug test, but that kind of leads me to the next company I started working for. They're big in the Midwest. It's Trade Home Shoes. Do you guys know that?
no trade
No, I
home.
haven't. I'm
That's
looking
a
them
horrible
up right
name.
now. It's the worst name ever.
Yeah. So
What is
so
that?
I get hired. I get hired by them, and they're all about like you dress up, you wear button up and slacks, you put the shoes on the people. Most of them are old or like rich, I would say. Sometimes you get children in there, not very often. So I get hired by them. Complete transparency. Tell them I got fired and why.
Wow. Okay.
And 2 months, and it brought me back to Boise. So they helped me move back. They didn't pay for the move, but they gave me a job as soon as I got back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was to say about those
so-
places is that they're like you have to move across the country. It's a great opportunity. We just found it for you, but we aren't going to help you pay for it.
Yeah. So I did some time with them. I'll go through this really fast because I want to tell you how my career ended with shoes. So they asked me to move to Billings to prove my worthiness to run a store again. So Billings, Montana. After like 2 months, and I'm like, oh shit. Well, I do want to run a store again. So I go there, have the worst fucking manager of my whole fucking life. This lady calls me a fucking idiot, piece of shit.
Oh, wow.
She demasculated me all the time.
Wow.
So I end up after my lease was over, I ended up just not showing to work, and I packed all my shit up and moved back to Idaho.
Nice.
So I get back to Boise again, and the manager I had there for the same company, he actually rehires me. He wasn't supposed to.
Whoa.
So it became this really like big internal drama, but they let me stay because I had the numbers. And
They love those numbers.
They do.
yeah. This is where shit gets wild. So my district manager from Journeys, I can see him outside my store, and he's watching me. He's like scouting me. I can tell he's watching me sell to people.
Uh-huh.
And I go out and I kind of, hey, how's it going, man? Like, how you been? And he walks me through the mall and offers me a job back with them.
Oh, wow.
You're like you're the shoe dude.
Well, they like a guy that fudges the numbers. It makes them look good. It makes them look good.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what it is.
When he fired me, I got drunk a couple days later and texted him what a big jackass he was and what a dick.
Yes!
I fucking hated him.
Yes!
And he still fucking hired me back. So they bring me back as an assistant manager for a while, and then the Journeys Kids store has an opening, and they moved me over there to be manager. And I gave it 6 more months, and I decided I fucking hate selling shoes. a man can only ask somebody to buy so many waterproof spray bottles in their whole fucking life.
Yeah, yeah.
And I put in my notice, so I basically fixed my firing on my resume, and I fixed the time I walked out by being rehired by them.
Congratulations!
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
That's a triumphant story.
Right. And to make an impression on like a district manager at a job like that, like I've always found that to be like, that's the hard thing. It's like the district manager like rolls into the store once a month and never looks at me. I guess if you're a manager,
if you're the manager, they have to deal with you.
Right. It just always felt like getting a promotion. I guess if there's like at Journeys, right, you're probably got 6 people on the staff. Somebody's got to move up.
Oh yeah.
And if you're good, then they'll hire you. I'm gonna go to a Trade Home Shoes the next time we're in a city with one, just in honor of you.
Yeah, definitely do. And do you want to know how many weeks of vacation I got in that 7-year period?
Yeah.
I got 1 single week paid vacation.
Oh no, that's horrendous.
They handled you. I mean,
shoes is big business. I hear. I've been reading all about shoes being big business, but I guess not
well,
for.
It is like a classically like one of those jobs that's like, I guess like if you're selling boutique shoes, but if you're working at like Journeys, that's like considered one of the. But
no, all of those retailers like that are like. Just you pass back and forth.
Yeah. Here's the thing about working with shoes. People used to think shoe store was like the worst job you could get because back in the day, the motherfuckers would get down on their hands and knees and put your feet in one of those measuring boys and then get your measurement and then they'll put the shoe on for you.
Yeah.
They ain't doing that anymore, man.
Yeah.
That's how Trade Home is. They want you to fucking do that shit.
Oh.
You have to clean people's shoes and shit while you're making small talk.
I would hate that. I would hate that so much if I went into a place and they were trying to put the shoe on for me. Nothing would make me more frustrated than like having to sit there. But they also, the thing is though, I went to Foot Locker to buy my daughter shoes and she never knows her size. So we have to like kind of guess. If that dude would have just fucking measured her foot, he would have only had to make one trip to the back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't think they know how. I think they're just like, fuck it, who cares? They don't even have those things laying on the ground anymore.
You can't get one?
I don't think they have them at those places. I've never seen them at those places. They might have them at Famous Footwear.
Yeah.
But they don't got them there. Well,
it's unfortunate.
Thank you for calling in, buddy. That was a really great call. Have a good night.
Hey, you guys too. By the way, I've only been listening for a few months, probably since August, and I love you guys. So thanks for taking my call.
All right, have a good night. So we're gonna go to break now. We're playing Eddie Bars. I'm just playing his popular songs.
Sure.
Television Love, Life of Eddie Bars, Jaded. I don't know how many of them are gonna play, but we ready to go?
Yeah, and he'll be making an appearance at Street Fight Live Variety Show in 2 weeks.
Hell
January 24th.
He's cool as shit. I mean, I'm looking at him. He seems like a very cool dude. So here we go.
My life, it feel like an episode. My life, it feel like an episode. Episode. My life, it feel like an episode. Or maybe a movie. I just fell in love. Can't believe I fell in love with a groupie. I'm a goofy. Yeah, like one of these dudes in the movies. I shouldn't have ignored all the signs. I should have went with my mind. Instead I went with my heart. Should have left her in the dark. She ain't wanna play her part. Something fishy, she a shark. She just bit me, she ain't bark. She just bit me, she ain't bark. She ain't dumb, shorty smart. She ain't never miss her mark. Yeah, except for me. I had to give me a side bitch, her name was Stephanie. She told me that bitch you fucking with gon' be the death of me. She gave me the recipe. Thank the Lord she see the best in me. Yeah, one day she came to my crib. Told me that she seen her with one of my guys that be over on Fifth. She think they tryna set me up shit. I can't believe it. 2 shots that they had leave them leaking. I'm smoking all loud and it's reeking. Ayy, I had to cancel them plans. Gotta get back to my bands. I can't trust none of my mans. No, all just because of this bitch. I found out my homie a snitch. My life, it feel like an episode. Or maybe a movie. I just fell in love. Can't believe I fell in love with a groupie. I'm a goofy. Yeah, like one of these dudes in the movies. I shouldn't have ignored all the signs. I should have went with my mind. Instead I went with my heart. Should have left her in the dark. She ain't wanna play her part. Something fishy, she a shark. She just bit me, she ain't bark. She just bit me, she ain't bark. She ain't dumb, shorty smart. She ain't never miss her mark. Except for me. 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 I think I understand how Pablo felt. I'm trying to see how Scarface felt too. Yeah, I took some risks for my family, dawg. They turned their back on me, what should I do? I got an older brother, I ain't been around for some years. 2 older sisters in situations that bring me to tears. Couple uncles and aunties that never got over drama. Shit that happened before I was born, back with my mama. I got cousins that I never even met, hitting me on the book, telling me that I'm next, just to hit me up later, asking me for a favor. I hate to put them out there next to all of the neighbors, but they ain't family, I guess that's where they belong. Couple drinks and a blunt, she gon' come out a thong. Got close friends telling me they love me when I know they hate me. It's instinctive, my flow distinctive, you can't jack it. I gon' be there everything, including the jacket. Everybody speaking poetry, cause Eddie's snapping. I gotta get these samples clear before they clean their ears and realize I ain't just talking. I'm Macaulay Culkin, I'm home alone with the shit. I made it be, I hit the club, I'm going home with your chick. And I'm not the one to mess around with all that talkity talk shit. Hit me on the Zello, walkie-talkie, be cautious. Feds on my ass, probably wanna recruit me. I'm a CIA agent, I've been placing on purpose. Been manipulating y'all with facades on the surface. I am nothing that you thought I was, cause I am nothing that you think I am. Ma'am, stop judging me and all my words. Sir, that's for God to do. Couple weeks later on my B-day, I forgot it too. Don't get hesitant, don't get nervous. Super calm on the surface, inside I'm a mess. Yeah, I'm with the devil reject. No time for returning a text, airplane mode on the jet. Hey, come on now, I'm like a fire, don't you get burnt. Come on now, you sound tired, you should come learn. I'm a spaz junkie, let her spaz out. Put these rappers in the trash, take the trash out. Call mama up and tell her I love her before I put that mask on and going back undercover. Before I make a trip to Cincy or Cleveland. All this dirty money, I'm gonna be too busy cleaning. I'm too busy eating, I get 5K for a meeting. I've been fighting my demons, this gon' have them fiending. I mean it, I swear I'm nice, they know I'm right. Doggy, you gotta be kidding, man, I corner mice. I corner mice, this is Eddie life. This is Eddie life.
Can't I think you should slow down a little.
Baby, tell me I ain't been right for you.
It's been, what, 6 hours a day now? 10 capsules?
What?
You're not even fucking listening with your big-headed ass. You know what?
You ain't been right for me.
Nah, nigga, for the mix, they want sack. What? What the fuck are you talking about?
That's all cool though. All I need is my car.
You know what? Go ahead and go get high. I don't give a fuck. Overdose and die, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Rolling, smoking, rolling, drinking, rolling, smoking, rolling, drinking, Zanny, drop it, juice, sizzle, juice, foam, pour it, gone, rolling, smoking, rolling, drinking, rolling, smoking, rolling, drinking, Zanny, drop it, juice, sizzle, juice, foam, pour it, gone. Always, let me hit that. I be gone, I'm lit. Always, I be off the shits. Always, always, I be out the shits. Always, nigga, always, always, yeah. Wow, I actually can't remember the time. Let me think. Hold on, let me think. Wait, what are you doing? No, that's not your cup, that's my cup, wait. It's definitely not. My cup was right here, yours was over there. Who touched my cup? Who touched my cup? Where my cup go? Where my cup go? I can't find my cup. I can't find my cup. Why my cup gone? Why my cup gone? They done it. Oh, I'm mad. I'm pissed. I'm playing. I'm kidding. I'm just tired. Rolling, smoking, rolling, drinking, rolling, smoking, rolling, drinking, Zanny, drop it, juice, sizzle, juice, foam, pour it, gone, rolling, smoking, rolling, drinking, rolling, smoking, rolling, drinking, Zanny, drop it, juice, sizzle, juice, foam, pour it, gone.
Three, 2, 1, we're done.
Good. Hey everybody, welcome back to Street Fight Call-In. Thank you for bearing with us while we went on a break. I hope you enjoyed the song. That was by Eddie Bars, super cool dude from Columbus, makes great music. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. Eddie Bars is the name. He'll be making an appearance at our variety show on the 24th in January, so get those tickets at store.streetfightradio.com. You can also pre-order the Gumball shirt. I need more pre-orders of that so that we can get a big enough order to get a bulk discount. So if you want a Gumball shirt, we're redoing them on union printed shirts that are soft and comfortable and nice. Store.streetfightradio.com is the place to find it. Thank you for being here. We got a chat. Sorry, I'm all belchy. You get the raw, disgusting sounds of us as podcasters.
We're humans, you know.
Yeah.
We make human noises.
So, so far so good. This is the call-in show. You want to jump into the next call?
Yep.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hello?
Hey,
Yes.
who's this?
Hey, this is Alex from the suburbs of Boston.
What's up? Love Boston.
I run the Punks Around fanzine. I'm calling for the first time today.
Sweet.
Oh, hey, buddy. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It's about time, I guess. I've been trying. But, I can only be on the phone for so long, so I usually hang up kind of like halfway through.
I would
I'm glad
too.
you made it.
No, I'm not blaming
Yeah.
you at all.
We've sent out some of your zines as bonus zines with our zines. So there's even some available in the
Hell
Street
yeah.
Fight store. I think we have some extras. But you have some
Hell yeah.
fucking great work.
Cool, thanks. So I have a small business tyrant story, kind of.
Sweet. Excellent.
It's from my ex. She just started this job at a bakery. The original bakery is in Louisville, Kentucky, and so the minimum wage in Kentucky and Massachusetts is obviously a lot different. And so this person that owns the store, when she opened up the bakery in Newton, which is like a real kind of upper middle class suburb of Boston, she was bragging about how she pays her Louisville employees minimum wage, and that they can survive off of that comfortably just from working part time. I think minimum wage in Kentucky is $9.
It's not good.
And yeah, I mean, she was saying that they can survive off of that, and they don't need to work 40 hours a week, and so paying Boston employees 15 hours a week was way too much, and they should be happy with what they're getting because the Louisville employees can survive without it.
It's $8.20 an hour. Is what?
Yeah, so the
Louisville minimum wage.
So yeah, that's what they're making then, and she was bragging about how little she pays them. And this was to her employees in Newton and Boston. So, I mean, at that point they didn't know what minimum wage was in Kentucky or anything. So when she got back and told me, I was like, that's fucked up. Nobody in Kentucky can survive on $8 an hour, and
part time especially. She probably gets it in her head that oh, they have a partner that works. Oh, they live with their parent, because a lot of them will say oh, well, teens live with their parents, so they're really happy with whatever I pay them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the case. And then, when
Did you say something to her?
Yeah, that irritated the fuck out of me. And so I added her on Instagram, calling her out about it, about how unethical, if she's really bragging about paying her employees a minimum wage, it's fucking, you shouldn't do that. And, it doesn't matter where you are. And she was oh, I give all of my employees $9 an hour, and I wasn't bragging to anybody about how little I pay them. And, it was just kind of skirting around this problem that she's bragging about how, supposedly she lives so out of touch with, how much people actually need to survive in both Louisville and in Newton, the Boston area. And it was just kind of funny. But that's not it either. So this place, I'm going to kind of identify it now because I have to. It's a vegan and gluten-free bakery.
Okay.
It's an allergen-free bakery, and so she imposed this rule that employees can't bring any food from outside into the bakery.
Okay.
Because it might have peanut butter or something in it, and you can't even bring cut fruit or anything like that because the knife that you use probably is contaminated and stuff.
Okay.
Which is fine, and that means that okay, if you're going to tell me that I can't bring in food, then you should be supplying me with some kind of food, right?
Yeah, was there a cafeteria or something?
No, this is a tiny bakery, and so when she was at the Newton store when they just opened, she told my ex that oh, well, you guys can just make rice and beans in the back, and that can be your lunch food. Do it whenever you want to.
What?
And yeah, no, this is serious. And so, of course, nobody wants to eat fucking, just plain rice and beans every day, all day. And so what ends up happening is nobody eats lunch. And because nobody's eating lunch, the person that's in charge just doesn't give anybody lunch breaks. And so, my partner is there, my ex is there, like working all day nonstop without a single lunch break because she can't bring her own food and she doesn't like get paid enough money to go buy something else. And even if she did, she couldn't bring it in to work anyway.
Just imagine like a crock pot full of rice and them just being like, grab a couple handfuls of it.
Have all the rice and beans you want. Hey, have at it.
Yeah.
You know?
It doesn't make any sense. And they don't even give like employee discounts to like if you wanted to buy something there, like I don't know, a fucking piece of bread or something like that. It's still like it's way overpriced place, like understandably so, because it takes like a million fucking ingredients to make gluten-free vegan, I don't know, garlic bread or something like that. So yeah, this place is just kind of funky like that. Getting around like giving people reasonable breaks and stuff like that. It's just weird.
It's so wild to say, like, you can eat this one thing here if you want. Like, you're allowed to have rice and beans. Because it's like, I like rice and beans. I think rice and beans is an excellent meal, but it's also kind of a struggle meal. Like, it's not something that a lot of people just always choose to eat. It's usually something that's, like, cheap enough to make and will fill you up.
No, yeah, when I make it for myself now, I go the extra mile and put a lot of extra special love and care and attention and buy premium ingredients. But to think about scooping it out on a paper plate every day and eating it like gruel, like you're in that Pink Floyd video.
Right. She should, I guess, like, if you're making food, I've said this on the show probably 80 times. If you're making food, you should be allowed to eat it.
Sure.
You know? It's just not fair.
It's also just so disconnected where you're like, no, we have a very high standard of quality for this place. The employees cannot bring outside food, and then just not think about like, well, how are they going to eat though? Like,
yeah.
How are we going to solve that problem of them having to eat?
Well, do you think like, obviously the person running the place is probably vegan and gluten free. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations where they're like vegan and gluten free, and they're like, they shouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, they're vegan and gluten free.
Right? Anybody can eat this.
The food here, yeah. They probably think that, and then they put that on the employees.
No discount.
Yeah, no discount is wild at a food place that you're working 8-hour shifts at. I think if you're working 8 hours and you work at a food place, you should get the food.
Grab a couple.
Yeah, you should get the food for free.
I think it's one thing for like their employer to say, all right, you can't bring outside food in, and that means that like you can have stuff here. That could be your lunch food. But to like expect them to like, all right, so let's say hypothetically an 8-hour day you get 15 to 20 minutes of a break. You have to like make that rice and beans. They don't make it for you. Like they've never actually supplied it to them.
Right.
They're like you have to go make it, and then you can have your break. And so automatically, like 10 minutes of your break is out just from making something that you can actually eat. Right.
Oh, that is crazy. Like I've never heard this is like a first for this show to hear of a place where they make you eat the food. Basically, they make you eat what they'll give you, and you'll like it. You know.
I mean, you make your own food is like that's a pretty big change. It's like, whoa, I have to make my food
and
too?
I'm not allowed to just pick it. I can't even make. I have to make the thing that you have mandated that I eat.
Right.
If I want to eat,
you can heat up the food that we prescribe you or not eat.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I was thinking that there was going to be a kerfuffle with like people not taking breaks and maybe getting extra hours or not staying long enough and shit like that.
Yeah, no, it's just the food driving the woman
crazy. No, they actually just hired like another pastry chef, and they've cut my ex's hours, so they're like so that she doesn't get full-time hours anymore.
Oh God, yeah. That's the game. That's the game.
Like phasing her out. Yeah, but like we kind of went around it by like because the bakery is like I don't know 2 miles from where I live, and so I would just go and get like fucking fast food, and she would like run out of the bakery, and I would just kind of like give her the food so that she could eat real quick in her car and then go back inside. Like that was the only way that we could get around it.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say, car lunch. But car lunch is the worst.
Oh, I know.
Man. I did so many car lunches when I was working for the cable company, and I just hated it.
It gets all sweaty like in a box. It's not comfortable. You don't want to spill shit. You can't leave the car running really because it just feels wasteful.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, if you know people, if you like work for a company that pays for the gas,
right?
I know it's wrong to sit and idle environmentally, but like you do care a lot less about the gas when the company's paying for it.
Yeah, I mean when it's like fucking frozen and like you have 20 minutes, it's almost not worth even turning on the car because by the time the car heats up, the brake's going to be over anyway.
Yeah, you have to drive a little bit, right, to get the car to heat up. If you're just sitting in a parking lot, it's going to take forever to heat up. Well,
yeah, that's why she'll jump in my car and eat because then it's like at least my car's warm at that point.
True.
You know, and, like get it out there.
You're an angel for doing it. I've never taken my wife lunch. I'm mean though.
Yeah, no, I don't do it. I don't do it frequently. I should do it more, but you know, it's only when she's like desperate and not getting out early that I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, buddy. Can you tell people where to find your zine?
Yeah, do you mind if I do some shout outs? There's some people in my area and friends of mine doing some great things for like homeless outreach and stuff that I wanted to drop some names.
Hell yeah, go for that.
So a buddy of mine, Caroline in Providence, runs Compassion Kitchen, and my best friend Tommy in Oakland, he volunteers for West Oakland Punks with Lunch, and these are two organizations that the new issue of Punks Around, the proceeds for it go to whichever organization, or it's evenly dispersed between these organizations. There's also Safe Point, which is somebody in Ohio linked me up with them. And so, you know, there's a couple of others that are involved in the zine, and you can find it. I have a Big Cartel site. It's just punksaround.bigcartel.com, or you can find me on Instagram. It's just @punksaround.
Well, thank you for calling in. It's really cool, and thanks for supplying us with zines when we need them.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, thank you guys.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Yeah, they're great. They do good stuff. I'm glad they called in.
Yeah. I like to hear from our zinesters.
Absolutely.
That's what they call them, like in the scene.
Yeah. Well, they were before us, so they've been doing zines longer than Street Fight even.
I mean, so many people were. I don't know how they did it. I was looking at somebody posted one from the 90s that they made, and I was like, oh, that looked like a lot of work.
It is.
There. Like, because they were like, you know, you couldn't just get the stuff on the internet and have it sent to you. You had to, like, make things.
Yep. Very different environment. All right, you ready for this next call?
Yep.
We got a full chat. We got not chat. We got a full queue.
Well,
right now.
we got about 45 minutes.
Okay. That's what you got, folks. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Mom?
Yep,
Yes.
you're on. That's you.
Oh, hey. Good to talk to you guys. I'm a 4-year listener, first-time caller.
Oh,
Sweet.
cool. Wow.
4 years. You're an OG.
Yeah, I think I got into Chapo about 5 episodes in, and that's when I got linked back to you guys. So
hell yeah,
I've been listening ever since.
Hell yeah. Thanks for listening. What's up?
So I'm a law student. I've probably been a lot more upper-class background than most of your listeners, but I thought I had a pretty good story.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
So I used
a
to
lot
do-
of our listeners are also from, I mean, you know,
not most.
They're the same. Like, it's the same breakdown.
there's
as most.
plenty.
I'm not like super rich, but you know, I've never been like poor.
Okay,
Sure.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
fine.
Hey,
It happens.
But I wanted to tell you guys about, I did a internship in Congress.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So the congressman I worked for, I don't think I should give the name because I should be honest and say he was nice and the staff there was very nice.
Okay.
But let's just say he was like a very centrist Democrat.
Okay. Picturing
And
it in my
it was
mind.
unpaid.
Long horse face, right?
But what I thought...
hung
what
out
I
with
thought
Green
was
Day.
interest-
I'm sorry.
You're good. What I thought was interesting about it was this would have been 2 years ago, and every single morning the staffers would read The Intercept and get mad at it.
Oh, wow. That was like their daily hate?
Well, yeah, so keep in mind, these are nominally like Democrats, and they would go through Trump's Twitter and be like, can you believe that? And then they would read The Intercept, and they would be like, can you believe that? Like, they were equally mad at both of those.
I mean, like, how do you get, what were the types of things that they would get mad about? Because, like, The Intercept is,
is really kind of doing what they're like doing investigative reporting. It doesn't seem.
That's what they were mad at. They'd be stories about like someone running like AOC was just coming in at that point, and they were very mad about that.
Just mad because she exists? Like, I mean, like,
I think she criticized like Pelosi or something, and that was like a bridge too far for them.
Yeah.
To them, like Pelosi was like a left winger.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe someone would be that.
I think like this is like a pet like theory of mine back in the day, but I think like sometimes these centrists like they feel like it's unfair to have to think universal health care is a right and stuff like that. And it just is a thing that reflects on them as like maybe they don't want to think maybe I'm heartless. You know what I mean? Right, they don't. And it's like advocating for justice feels like a cheat code to them.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you that's exactly true. In fact, what people don't understand is what most congressmen do for like 6 hours a day is they just go across the street and make phone calls to donors.
Right.
And they literally talked about it being like unfair that like these new like what Bernie or like AOC or whatever, like they don't have to do that. They think that's like cheating.
Well, it's not really. They can't call all their donors. The thing about these small donors, which is wild, they think that the small donor thing is wrong too. And I can't even figure out why. Like, I don't even know what could possibly be the drawback to having, you know.
But like what he just said.
Yeah.
I mean, the majority of their time is they have to go pal around and go, hey, Jeff, is that you, Jeff? Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. We want to do big things in the chemical waste sector. I know you're slated to take over when we're ready to have you on board for the new team. Whatever. We need $750,000. We need like whatever it is.
And I'm just speaking on the Democrat side, and I know this is naive or whatever, but couldn't all Democrats target?
They should be
voters that don't make, because Bernie Sanders got $5 million, like near the end of the year, right?
35.
35 million?
Yeah.
With what, like $27 donations or some shit? Like the average one was very small. Like, I don't understand why, because I think that like the amount of money that a campaign has doesn't necessarily translate to votes. What translates
Trump got outspent by Hillary by like 3 times.
Right. What translates to, like, if you want to say that your donations translate to votes, then you want the maximum number of donations, not like the most money. You see what I'm saying? Like, the most money is like whatever. It's like, but you need people to actually win the fucking thing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It just seems so weird that like, I guess maybe I'm like naive or don't know how things work, but I would think that your preference would be a lot of people with smaller donations over a lot of money with
you're fucking people over.
You're on the right track.
I mean, but also like they see it as like doing the Bernie Sanders thing also means that they're going to have to use Kohl's cash.
Yeah.
Like they would be advocating against their own class interests at that point.
That's true. Yeah, I do agree with like if you're like if Chuck Schumer came out and was like, I don't want war, it's like Lockheed Martin would be like, oh, I don't really like that,
Yeah.
And these people are like on the phone with fucking Lockheed Martin and like CEOs and shit, and like they spend all day doing that because they think that's the right way to play the game. It's like it seems like and I'm dumb when it comes to this, but it seems like it's two parties playing completely different games. Like they're not even like competing.
They both have their own weird trick to make it work for them.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. For the Democrats, it doesn't work.
It keeps them in money and power.
It does. It does. I think if you're looking at like personal fulfillment, but like, God, I thought that like part of the reason you run for office is because you're hungry for power. And like when you're in the minority party, like you don't have any power. You know what I mean? Like somebody like fucking John Kerry, totally powerless guy. They can't make anything happen, Not that he wants to, but I just think that like even when it comes to like the Senate where it's like majority Republican, it's like, okay, then nothing's going to happen that's not like a Republican thing.
unless you win things. And I think that winning things, my guess is that the way you, and I don't know this because I've never been on the winning side of an election ever. Well, kind of like 2008, I felt like I won. Okay. But like, I think that you are targeting maybe I'm crazy, the most number of people voting.
Yeah. Well, so what I'd say to that, I think you're 100% right, and I think what I learned there was like these fucking like Democrats aren't people we have to be afraid of. Because like think about it this way, if you're not spending 6 hours a day calling your donors, you can actually do so much more, and like it's actually a huge like weight that's weighing them down is that they have to do that kind of stuff. So I think they're going to lose, eventually. I just don't think they can keep that up.
Yeah, it does feel like Brace posted this earlier in the week, but it's like if Bernie Sanders wins, it sort of proves that a worker-centered movement works, and that I mean that could be very powerful. I think I don't know. I don't know.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I don't know what I think about what's going to happen. I know that the last time I put all my eggs in a basket and my hopes and dreams in a basket, they went to a guy that did nothing almost except for like drone strikes and a really crummy healthcare plan.
Right.
And it makes me nervous. I don't want to be hurt again. You know what I mean? But I guess we're going to find out. So were they like mean? Are they like mean? Do they think, can I ask you this before we go? Do they think we're all stupid? Like, do they think that like voter or like not vote? I don't want to call myself a voter, but like, do they think that the just general public is just a bunch of dumb idiots?
I don't know if they think people are stupid as much as they think everyone's a Republican. Like our district was like relatively close, like it leaned a little bit. I think they went for Trump, but before that they voted for Democrats mostly. My guy I worked for, he was a Democrat that had been in for probably 20 years, and I think they just are really, really cautious, and they just assume if they say anything even mildly progressive, then people are all gonna turn on them and vote for Republican. Like there was something, I think it was Alex Preen article that was like that if you ask a Republican legislator what they think their district is, they'll say it's the most conservative district in the country. And if you ask a Democrat what their district is, they'll say it's like solidly Republican. Like both parties think that the country is more Republican than it really is, and that's 100% true.
Yeah, it's total bullshit.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, like a lot of the country thinks they're conservative, but you could lay out a case to get them on our side.
Yeah.
And I think you would get a good portion of them. I mean, there's always the brain poisoned people.
It's a matter of just labels. I mean, if you lay out plans, if you lay out ideas, people solidly go in the non-conservative direction.
I know.
Once you start saying this is a liberal idea, then you just immediately get fracture. You know?
Because I've had the conversations. My father-in-law's the great example. Is like I've gotten him to agree to fucking universal health care. I've gotten him to be anti-war in the past and all that stuff, but he would never call himself a leftist. He was still a conservative. You know? It just, if Donald Trump did universal health care tomorrow, they would be like, universal health care fucking rules and it kicks ass. Look, we did it, Well, thanks for calling in. That was very illuminating to me.
Of course.
We got
great to be on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, I really do think we're like generally all kind of let's take care of each other type people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
When you listen to Sean Hannity all day, it's hard to see that.
They're afraid of people are afraid of like the masses. They're afraid that everybody's going to conspire to take things from them, but it's like we all have nothing to, like you have nothing we could take from you,
Well, that's interesting because like I see all these politicians and like columnists talk about how populism's bad. I'm like, I think it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the people imposing their will on the government instead of the government imposing its will on the people, and I'm fine with that. I think that's the way it should be.
Sure. All right, you want to get this next call in?
Yep.
Let's see who this is. I think I might know. Thanks for calling. Here we go. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hey, now it's Thor from Baltimore, Maryland.
What's up, Thor? How are you?
Pretty good. How y'all doing?
I'm okay. You know, we're getting near the end, so I'm feeling like I'm gonna be off work, so that's good.
That's nice. No more call queue.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Yeah. No more call queue. No more. Work, to be off work is a beautiful thing.
We'll be right back tomorrow.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I'm a proud boy in blue here. That is to say, I'm a letter carrier for the Postal Service.
Woo!
Yeah.
You scared me there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to, say thank you for the show over the years, and hell yeah, the haircuts at the post office, and also wanted to do a plug for postal banking.
Hell yeah.
All right, you're all the way in.
Oh, I am all in, let me tell you.
Well, the post office is fucking cool, you know?
It is, and let me tell you, and let me tell the listeners that might not know, the post office isn't losing money. Like, we're actually doing all right. It's I just have to plug this real quick. It's a bullshit political hit from 2006, where they did like a pre-funding mandate that says you need to put $7 billion a year into retirement funds and everything else. And no, we don't make we make like $1 billion a year, like revenue profit.
Well, it's like Social Security where motherfuckers were like, we're running out of money, and then it's like, well, that's because you keep fucking using it, you know?
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's the same thing. So I just had to say that real quick.
Yeah, it's a political maneuver. They force the post office to do financial stuff that wouldn't make any sense if you're trying to run a healthy business, but they did it on purpose.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But no, just calling in, sending my love. That's all, pretty much. Yeah.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
Love it. Yeah, we love the post office.
Yeah, we're post office.
Awesome.
We stand the post office.
We tried, when we did the Hellfire tour, Sam Knight really, really wanted to get post office outfits for everybody to go out in at the end. Like, he really wants to put the outfit on. He really respects it. He's gonna steal some post office valor in his life for sure.
He wanted to, for sure. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, off the record, I could hook you up with some of that, but yeah.
We don't want to get you in trouble. No way. Well,
no, there's a.
Well, that would be funny though if we got caught. Like if the police came to our show and arrested us for impersonating a federal employee.
Yeah, they would love to do that too.
No, I mean there are postal police. Like I've dealt with them before. I was a union rep when I delivered in California before coming out to Baltimore. But they're crazy. Like the postal police will literally. So the postal police don't report. You know how you have like cops, they report to the city, report to the county, the state, and everything else. Postal police don't have any oversight from anyone.
Oh, so they're like, so my guess is that they're a lot like Dog the Bounty Hunter. You know what I mean? That was like the thing people always said, like, I want to be a bounty hunter. Because they don't have all that red tape they gotta.
Right, a real renegade.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. That's why
they get like 90-some grand a year plus expenses just to do whatever. And I've had carriers, like I was representing them on, notices of removal. And literally, these postal police would go to the either resident manager or whoever ran the apartments in places and literally like gain access to the apartment and extract things from the apartment.
Yeah, they did that.
No warrant, no nothing.
They did that at the cable company one time. They fucking kicked the guy's door in and fucking really went at it.
Who did?
The cable company one time. They like had to get a cop to come with them and all this stuff, but they broke into because he lived in a big apartment building with like a lot of units in it. The motherfucker kept climbing up into the attic and splitting the cable off, and then you know, I don't care. Nobody really cares if you do that, but if you climb up there and you split the cable off, it fucks up all the ones down the line past that. Then we were going in and having to fix it, and it was just happening over and over again. Finally, they fucking brought the FBI with them, and they went up in there. It was like, that FBI warning thing?
Yeah.
That's like,
they'll come get you.
Yeah, that's the only time it happened though. 7 years happened one time.
Wow.
So I'll let you know if you're stealing cable, probably safe. I saw one time in 7 years.
Okay.
Right.
So, well, thanks for calling in. That was a sweet call, and we love to be loved.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I'm
love
hot
to
on the
hang
button.
up on people. You're hot on that button tonight.
Sorry.
Just nervous.
It's a 2-part step. You have to hit drop and then drop. So,
all right, we got 25 minutes.
Let's see. I think we can do this. We got enough.
Right.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Is it me?
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
you.
Hey, this is Brian from Los Angeles.
What's up? I'm Brian from Columbus, Ohio.
But you're Brian with a Y, though, I believe.
Yeah, that's a good way to spell it. Except for we just found out that the CEO of Frontier Airlines is a Brian with a Y, so he's a stain on our history.
Well, I just want to. I know you got a full queue, so I'll keep it short. I just wanted to pass along some good New Year's news. I spent the last year in an eviction battle, and short version of a very long story. I live in a 100-year-old house that's rent control, and the landlord in a very gentrifying neighborhood, and the landlord decided that he could, make a lot more off this place than what I was paying after living here for 11 years. And so he decided to fake moving into the place as his residence. And of course, that was complicated by the fact that the guy had lived with us for 3 years before he decided to do this.
Oh no!
And
was he a friend of yours?
No, he was just the guy who bought the place after I moved in. And apparently it was his plan from the very beginning, which came out in court.
What did he do?
But so he moved in. So he bought the place. So I moved in 2008. He bought the place a year later, and then about 3 or so years ago, he moved in to the house when one of our roommates moved out.
Got it.
And he believed that that basically negated rent control. He thought that the house became owner occupied.
Oh.
And he hadn't actually,
Was it like a multiple room house, or he was like your roommate?
Yeah, it's a 3-bedroom Craftsman. So it's a big old, 100-year-old house. It's got 3 bedrooms. And so he just, when one of the roommates moved out, he moved into their room. And myself and my roommate, we didn't make a fuss because we were on good terms with the guy. And it was fine. I mean, he was a perfectly fine roommate. I mean, until of course when he told us we had 2 months to move out, which was surprising. But yeah, of course, then we started to do a little bit of research and realized the house is under rent control. He has no right to tell us to just move out. And so then this is something I'd like to pass along to everyone, at least in Los Angeles, which is that we got a tenant's attorney. And once we did that, everything changed. Because we started to actually learn what the rules are, and we started documenting everything the guy was doing and collecting all this evidence, and eventually it turned into the trial that we had to go to right before the Christmas week. We went to trial finally, and the good news is he lost. He lost pretty spectacularly.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean the judge seemed pretty flabbergasted by the kind of stuff that this guy was saying. But anyway, yeah. So just if anyone listening, especially in Los Angeles, but in any place that has rent control, if you are faced with any kind of, especially owner occupancy, because at least in Los Angeles rent stabilization ordinance, you have to prove good faith. So it can't be that you just decided to move in. You have to be moving in not to circumvent rent control. And that's exactly what he was. I mean, the guy told us and literally wrote in emails to us that, do you know how much money I could be getting from this place? That kind of thing, just like you're real, like, entitled, monster. So anyway, anyway, I just want to pass that along as
that's great.
Anyway, also love the show.
All right,
appreciate it.
Thank you. Congratulations on winning.
Thanks for the good
very
news.
Cool.
Yeah, glad to hear.
Thank you very much.
Go to court. Sometimes it works.
Sometimes it does work.
I mean, it is. If somebody's just, that is real wild behavior.
Yeah.
To have your landlord move into your fucking house.
I don't know what I would be like. This motherfucker wants to move into that. Like, I would have been in conversations with my wife, like, this motherfucker wants to move into the house.
I mean, when my landlord became my neighbor, I was a little bit iffy about it.
Yeah, I would hate that. It would make me fucking nervous. I just saw the grossest thing. Somebody, goddamn it, shows up. This guy posted somebody cutting a bunch of hot dogs in half and like strips, and then they put eggs in it, and then they put it in a waffle iron and made like a hot dog egg waffle, and it's vile to me. Like,
okay,
I'm just looking at it. And it's
that
gross.
Sounds like a great, simple tip. Simple meals.
Hot dogs.
All right, let's take this next call. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to? See, the clicking is not accurate, I'm going to say. It's an antiquated system.
What clicking?
Hey there.
Hey, who's this?
This is Ben out in California.
What's up, Ben? What's going on tonight?
I want to tell you about the fortunate employment situation I found myself in. I have hated every job I've ever had, and I've hated this job too, except for since August 1st, I've been getting paid to do nothing. I think they've forgotten about me.
That's an interesting situation. It's
they have 14,000 employees, or roughly around there, 10 to 15,000 employees.
And you slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
Do you see people in an office? Are you doing remotely? Do you have to actually do FaceTime?
I'm an IT guy.
Gotcha. I've seen this situation before. I have heard of somebody that works for about an hour a week doing their job remotely that they're getting paid 40 hours a week for.
I don't even have to do anything.
You're literally just drawing a paycheck, like your mob paid off or something.
Yes, exactly. I'm a paid off conservative grifter,
That's great. So
That's
you
a
just got a
juicy sitch.
job and they were like, they don't give you work anymore? Do you have a boss?
No, well, I do, and he's honestly a piece of shit the last time I worked with him, and he knows what I think about him. But fortunately, I found a niche field where it's hard to find people who know what I know. You have to get upper hand on these fuckers, and apologize for cursing.
You're allowed. Yeah,
we're a cussing
show.
This is a very cussy show.
Okay. I'm a new listener, by the way.
But, hey.
Yeah.
That is very fucking cool. And you're getting paid well and you just don't have to do anything?
Yes, and I'm getting benefits and I'm collecting PTO days. But if they let me go, they have to pay me my PTO days.
So is there...
How much work do you do in a week?
Nothing. Literally, I have done nothing since August 1st.
Well, they're going to do reviews, though. Are you going to get reviewed eventually? Do they do that?
I went through the last employment review. We're supposed to submit it and everything. I just ignored it. Just didn't submit a thing. Just acted like nothing happened. And that was back in October.
This is
and I'm in a new employment year, and my second paycheck of this year is coming up, and I am just like, whoa, what should I do? And my boyfriend and I are thinking like, okay, let's just go to different national parks, and just camp and just like live off this money for now and just save up.
The situation.
I've had to work my whole life to get by. So this is just like, yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great opportunity while you have it. I do. The thing about these situations, you have to be like, eventually they're going to find out. So I hope somebody will find out.
They'll find out. And if they fire me, I'm good. Like,
Sure.
Fortunately, I'm enough up. I'm good.
But right now, you can surf. You can do whatever you want. Like, you can.
What also feels like maybe they'll catch you, but what they'll fucking do is be like, hey, what? Can I give you some work? You know what I mean? Like, I think their first choice is going to be to give you some work rather than fire you, you know?
Well, can I explain what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, honestly, so I was working, at this giant-ass bank. It felt like working at Purgatory. I fucking hated it. And honestly, I have anxiety issues, and I got my therapist to approve me going on medical leave for a month. And I didn't get paid during that time. And then after a month, they took me off this shitty project that I could not stand. And then after a month, I emailed HR, which is in India, and said, like, hey, I'm ready to work. And they put me on the bench, which I've been on before, which means you're just in between projects. But usually it's only lasts a week or two, tops, because they don't want to pay you to do nothing, So, but I've just been on, quote unquote, the bench since August 1st.
See, they can't do anything about that. They can't fire you for that, I don't think, right?
No.
You're just on the bench. Hey, you give me some work and I'll fucking do it. But I'm on the bench right now. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Would you fucking tell and if they try to fire you, I'd just sit across from the person and be like, would you ask for work? Because I don't know anybody in this world that would ask for work. I used to come into the cable company and they would hand me slow times. They hand me one job in the morning, and my ass would fucking go do it and not do anything else. And I'd always, at the end of the day, I'd be like, they're going to ask me, like, what I did the whole rest of the day, because one job was supposed to take about an hour.
Yeah.
They're going to ask what I did for the other 7 hours today, and I'd come up with an excuse. Never asked me. Not one time was that ever asking me, what else did you do today? They look at my log and be like, he did one job. Yeah. I mean, I always had it in my mind. It's like, hey, I would call somebody and be like, hey, if they ask you, tell them I was helping you today. So I would even make up the excuse and everything, but it was not necessary at all.
Yeah. I remember
I haven't been in contact with anyone. I haven't emailed anyone. So I moved out here for a job. I was, because I work in IT. I'm from rural Georgia. I lived in Atlanta, and then I moved from Atlanta to San Francisco because I'm getting paid more to do the same job, even though it's expensive as hell out here.
Sure.
But sorry, I lost my train of thought. But
I mean, it feels like you could get another job anyway. Like, if they fire you,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
I just got a fucking few months off. I'm chilling.
Oh, yeah. So I'm out in San Francisco, so I've been just chilling in this new city.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should probably you probably not giving any more information. Keep this to yourself.
I'm not telling anyone. Yeah, I'm not telling anyone the name of this.
No, don't.
No.
You fucking won the lottery.
The projects I've done.
You fucking won the lottery. That is the lottery right there. It's like you get a job, they forget you exist, and they keep paying you. That is the lottery.
Right.
Right? Like, that is I would love that. I'd still work for a living.
Saying I do IT work in San Francisco is not giving out specific enough information.
No, yeah, everybody does IT work in San Francisco. Yeah, no, you're safe. Do you have anxiety about it, though?
No, actually, because I've saved up enough now. At first, though, I was broke. And, to be honest, I still have some credit card debt, but I'm still, making payments and, making some decent chunks into it now. But, yeah, I'm kind of going crazy with the free time. It's weird. I've never had this before because
no, don't let it drive you nuts.
I'm one of 8 kids. I grew up in rural Appalachia, so I've had to work to get to where I am,
Yeah,
and I'm seeing the chat. Francisco is a little dicey. Hell yes, it is. I've gone from conservative hell to neoliberal hell.
Yeah.
But
well, hey, good luck
Yeah.
to you, and I'm glad to hear, because when you said you had like a doctor, with your anxiety stuff, it kind of worried me that you were sitting around like I'm the type of, like, I still get like this now. It's like people are gonna realize I don't do any work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Brett has the
Oh.
same thing where you're just sitting around and you're like, people are gonna realize I don't do any work and I'm not gonna get paid anymore. So I think you should definitely just enjoy your time.
oh, hell yeah.
Go to
be honest, yeah.
see the country. Seems like you could go see
That's
the
what- no, that's
country.
what I'm doing. No, literally, I have a trip planned Tuesday. We're going to Yosemite.
Nice.
So,
Oh, that's
Sounds
a good
fun.
trip. I want to go to Yosemite.
yeah.
Well-
So I'm excited.
Well, thanks for the
Another
call.
uplifting call.
Yeah, this is a great call.
We're having some uplifting calls tonight.
Yeah. Grew up on food stamps, so this can happen to random people.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen to you. Your boss could figure out you exist and put you on the bench indefinitely.
Yep.
What if you just?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
he could do this.
corporation.
If he
Lie to them.
Yeah. If you somehow skate past this review, you could do this for fucking years. I think you might be able to do this for fucking years.
Yeah.
It's at
Oh,
least
that's the hope.
if you do a review in October and they haven't gotten to you yet, like, they might not even they probably don't even check. It's probably just a little fucking thing on a spreadsheet, dude, that just is like, oh,
I
this
think
person
my
hasn't done
boss
it.
might have gotten fired
Ah, that is perfect. Oh, that's
because
beautiful.
he's always getting yelled at by his boss, and I saw it.
Oh, man.
All
This is
right.
a beautiful story. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in with this beautiful story.
All right.
I
Well,
think I'm going to buy some bibs.
okay.
All right.
For the winter?
Yeah. I want my boss to forget
I
about me.
I don't want to be on fun, but I do have to say, you got to be careful how much you get out of it because they might try to fucking sue your ass,
I don't think so. I don't think they can. They put them on the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, what can they really do?
Taking money for not doing work, man.
Sure.
They can
That's
fine.
not against the rules if you're on the bench.
Okay.
Is
You're
how
right.
I feel about
I
it.
agree.
Like, if the bench is a state of being at the job and you're on the bench, they can't really do anything about that.
Yeah.
I was on the bench. What do you want me to do?
I would not. I don't know if Brian knows the most about the law.
I'm a lawyer. Okay.
All right. We got a couple more to go.
I'm a certified. We got.
Thanks for calling Street Fight.
9
Who are we
minutes.
talking to? We got,
Hey, what's up? It's August from Duluth, Minnesota.
What's up, August?
I wasn't gonna call in tonight, but that guy with the bakery story made me want to call in.
Okay.
Yeah. So back in April, I got a job at this restaurant up here. It was like kind of like a deli sandwich shop sort of thing, but it was like upscale, and it was owned by this same company that owned another restaurant. And they, like the other restaurant, their whole thing was like farm to table and stuff. And then when I got there, it was kind of like the same thing at the restaurant. They like prepped everything from scratch and stuff. And I pretty much only got the job there because my roommate worked there. And but a few days after I started working there, he got another job. And then
That's
I was
why-
hired by this one guy who's a kitchen manager there. And like it was a pretty nice job, and I got along really well with all my coworkers, but like they worked the shit out of me. And so like right after I started working there, they opened up another restaurant right next door. Well, not a restaurant, it was like a barcade where they served tacos. But we did all the tacos out of the same kitchen. So it was basically like we were running two restaurants out of the same kitchen. And
with the same staff?
Yeah, with the same staff.
Right.
And so I was there for for like another like 6 months or so. And then I think it was like back in November, just out of nowhere, they decided to close the taco place. and they fired like all the bartenders there. It was right after they opened up a new bar from the same company right across the street. So they hired a bunch of new bartenders at the bar across the street, and then let go of all the bartenders at the arcade. And right before that, the kitchen manager I worked with who hired me got fired. At least that's what I heard. They told us he left of his own will, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
And so like the owners there, one of them was the daughter of the guy who owned like all the restaurants, and the other guy was this guy who was like sort of a total tool, who had like apparently worked at the company since like he was a teenager.
Okay.
But yeah, I like worked my ass off there, and I felt like everyone liked me, and pretty much the only reason why I stayed there was because I got along with everyone so well. Just before the kitchen manager got fired, I asked for a raise, and they gave me one. It was only like 50 cents, but it was better than nothing. And I was just getting pretty burnt out there because I was hired as a cook, but I'd been there for like 8 or 9 months, and they kept giving me dishing shifts, which I don't really mind. It's just like really depressing. Like I don't want to wash dishes for a living and just stand there washing dishes all day and not really talk to anyone or do any like work that I thought was like important or productive.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And they had this policy there which pissed me off the entire time, which was that you could only have soup, salad, and a potato salad as a shift meal.
What? Wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
Soup, salad, or potato salad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the soups they had were like tomato soup, and then they had some other ones which had meat in them, but I don't eat meat, so
Tomatoes.
like my options were like tomato soup and like a potato salad and a salad.
And that was the only food you could have from the place you were working at?
That's what we got for like a shift meal. We got a 50% discount while we were working, but the sandwiches were like super expensive, like $15 a sandwich and shit.
Yeah, that's like trading in an hour of fucking work.
Yeah. So I would just always make myself food. I usually closed there at nights, and when the higher ups would leave, I would just make myself food and not pay for it.
Special sandwiches, man. Yeah, there was a really unfortunate episode we watched of, I think, Kitchen Nightmare, where there was a guy that, like, at the end of the night, he had a little couple styrofoam boxes that he took home for himself. And Gordon Ramsay happened upon it, and I was like, oh, man, they just completely fucked up this guy's situation. He had a great thing going here. He worked all day for assholes and got, like, enough food for lunch and dinner,
Yeah.
on his way out.
Yeah, man, that's what I did. I would, like, usually load up a bag with, like, some bread and other stuff and take it home. So they had me come in. So a few things happened. They hired this guy there, or they transferred him over from one of the other restaurants, and he had like a lot more experience than me, and they were putting him on as like a lead for the closing shifts. And so I came in one day and looked at the schedule, and they gave him like all my hours, and then they gave me like 2 closing shifts and then 2 dishing shifts in the morning. And I told them that I didn't really want to fuck around with my sleep schedule and lose sleep. And I also told them, I tried to talk to Jeff, who was one of the owners there, who's the guy I mentioned as a tool. And I asked to speak with him, and I wanted to talk to him in his office, but he wouldn't even do that. Like, he wanted me to talk to him online, while I was like working and making sandwiches and shit. I told him that I wanted them to pay me more if they wanted me to do dishing shifts, because I thought it was like harder and more like physically taxing work. Like whenever I do dish shifts, my like back and my neck would hurt afterwards.
Right.
So you're like bending down and doing.
But
stuck back there all night.
Yeah, and usually that's paid less.
Yeah, they told me that, and I knew that. But I think that's fucked up.
For sure.
Yeah, and he just like didn't want to hear any of that, and he basically just said that they didn't have the hours to go around, and like that's what they had for me. And he said he would like find someone else to take the dish shifts. But then he couldn't find someone for that week, so I came in the morning to do the dishes. And and then like the morning was going all right, but I was like, I didn't get much sleep, and I was just kind of pissed off. And I made myself a grilled cheese, and I went back and tried to eat it. And then the other owner, who was like the big owner's daughter, she tried to make me pay for it. And I just kind of said, I was just going to have it as a shift meal. And she was like, no, you can't do that. I basically just told her I wasn't going to pay for it. And so she brought me down to the office, and I basically just tried to argue with her that I didn't want to. I tried to argue that the soup and salad, and potato salad, probably costs like just as much as a little grilled cheese, especially when you're like putting it in cups and all that stuff.
Yeah, grilled cheese isn't breaking the budget.
No, it's like the cheapest thing you can make. It's what I eat when I'm broke.
Yeah. She just basically said that wasn't okay, and I ended up paying for the sandwich. But I told her that I was pissed off, and I kind of like snapped a little. And I just told her that I wasn't happy there for a lot of reasons, and I told her that I thought they were exploiting me there. And then I came in the next morning or the next day, and I worked my shift just like normal. And then the day after that, 2 days before Christmas, they just called me and told me I was fired.
Nice. Figured.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got to make them feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for calling in. It's a good story.
Sorry, I don't know if that was a very good story.
No, it was.
No,
good.
it was. I love
Good.
the soup salad, the super salad choice.
Yeah, it's
funny.
It's great. I mean, it sucks, but it's funny.
I mean, that's just hellish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Love you guys. You guys should come up to the city sometime. I'll definitely go down and see you.
What's the city?
What city?
Minneapolis? St. Paul and Minneapolis.
We're going to be there. We'll be there in July.
July?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be there in July, early August, something like that.
All right, peace. All
right. What do we got here?
I mean, we're
over now.
We're overtime.
Yeah.
This person is they haven't been waiting for that long.
Well, what do you want to do?
We got two jump ins.
End the show.
I can hang up on the jump ins.
And I can go home and watch a movie and pass out.
Okay.
Or we can take the calls. But I don't want to go that much over 3 hours.
I don't want to go 3 calls deep.
Yeah, I think the show's over.
Show's over.
Yeah, I called it. It's my fault. I'm the heel. Call back next week, and we will be nice.
Yes, thanks for listening to Street Fight Radio.
Or the week after next. We're going to be here next week.
That's the show. We're so glad y'all show up and call in. We have some good calls tonight, some legendary calls. I hope that person didn't say too much about their job that they get found out. And I'm sorry for hanging up on the police caller. That was an accident. I really was just trying to pull it up to get ready to go to the next thing, and it's a weird system, I promise.
Yeah.
You can find more of what we do at patreon.com/streetfightradio. You can sign up for bonus content extra videos, extra audio. Brian's doing a bunch of premium audio stuff right now. We're going to record some Undercover Bosses. We did one tonight, actually. There's an Undercover Boss on the way. So lots of good things happening. If you want more from Street Fight Radio over on Patreon. Otherwise, find us on all the social media platforms at Street Fight WCRS. Watch the show. Thanks, Red and Black Rules. I see you in there all the time. Congressional Baseball Fan. Cool with Pie. Appreciate the chat. Keeping it together, talking to everybody. I try to ban. We had a couple infiltrators tonight.
Oh, cool.
And I saw one person someone that called like 30 times in a row. They were using like a robo dialer of some sort, I think.
Oh, cool.
But
That's funny.
We're weathering the storm.
Yeah, I guess.
Thanks for listening to Street Fight Radio. This Wednesday, we are doing a show. Next Sunday, we will not be doing the call-in show.
But I will get you content, I promise. Well, we'll get you something, but
yes,
I'm probably going to give you new content, I think,
all right,
if I can work it out.
Peace, y'all. Have a good one.